Bicycle accident. The Southside official posting on Facebook yesterday he'll require multiple surgeries to recover from damage to his face and upper body. No ward meetings or neighborhood events in Howard Brookins' future, he says. Tampa Bay beat the Bears Sunday 22-16. NBA was the Bulls over the Lakers 118-110. Billy Garrett had 20 points as to pull down Wisconsin-Milwaukee yesterday. In college baskets, 77-59. The news service of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. This Thanksgiving, thousands of people are making a wish for a second chance at life. Help save lives. Sign up to share the gift of life as an organ, eye, and tissue donor, and be sure to tell your family your wishes. Go to organdonor.gov. Check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Has America's history been the result of a series of fortunate accidents? Is America great because of dumb luck? In his latest book, Michael Medved argues that something greater has been at work. Divine Providence. Join AM 560's Michael Medved for a special lunch on Thursday, February 2nd at Belvedere Banquets in Elk Grove Village as he tells the story of the American miracle. Get your tickets now at 560theanswer.com/miracle. That's 560theanswer.com/miracle.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I've had 10 major surgeries, including 3 brain surgeries. And I have extreme rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and fibromyalgia. And I wanted to let him know that his Balance of Nature have helped boost my immune system so much because I'm on injectable medications for the rheumatoid, and they bring down your immune system. Since I've been taking Balance of Nature, I haven't gotten a cold, nothing. It really helped me tremendously.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
It's the busiest time of the year. So much to do. Plan this, schedule that, fit this in, drive here, drive there. And on top of it all, you're in charge of planning your company's holiday party. How are you going to get it all done? Well, there's one thing you can take care of quickly, easily, and deliciously. Call Belvedere Events and Banquets in Elk Grove Village and place your holiday catering order. You can pick up or have them delivered to your corporate office, home, or wherever. And if you need a place to have your party or event, Belvedere Events and Banquets can take care of that too. From 50 to 1,000 guests. To make your holiday event a great success, unique, special, and easy to plan, log on to belvederebanquets.com and take a peek at their amazing menu or call them at 847-534-0600. Belvedere Events and Banquets in Elk Grove Village. Book your catering by January 1st, 2017, and you'll get $25 off a $250 or more order. belvederebanquets.com or call 847-534-0600 and leave your holiday party planning to them.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chris Veldman of ServiceMaster DSI, the largest ServiceMaster franchise in the United States and a customer of Signature Bank. In our business, we respond to disaster, and we never know when disaster will strike, whether it's flooding in Louisiana or a house fire in Chicago. Not all banks understand that need for flexibility, but Signature Bank does. That's why we consider them so much more than a bank. They have been our business partner since 2006, when their 3 co-founders, Mick, Kevin, and Brian, started the bank. Signature Bank is a key part of our growth strategy at ServiceMaster DSI.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
5:08. Let's get a check of the early morning roads in our AM 560 traffic center. No turkey. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Good morning, Michael. Things right now are fairly quiet, though cold. Most of the overnight road construction is gone. There's still some work on the outbound Ryan. 95th down to King Drive on the Bishop Ford. It's a left lane closure until 6 this morning. The ramp from inbound Stevenson to Lakeshore Drive has reopened. There's Still some residual activity on Madison, Western and Damon. Some fire activity in that area, in the 1000 block of North Levitt. Traffic service of Sprint. This holiday season, switch to Sprint and learn how you can get 2 Samsung Galaxy S7s for one nice price. Dash to your local Sprint store, sprint.com/holiday, or call 1-800-SPRINT1 today. Happy holidays to you and your family from Sprint. Traffic answers when you need the most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Sunshine today with a high of 41. Tonight, clear, then clouds increase, low 25. For tomorrow, cloudy with a brief shower or two in the afternoon and occasional rain and drizzle at night. High tomorrow 45 and a low of 36. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
24 at O'Hare, 31 along Chicago's lakefront. The cold spot this morning. It is 16 in Aurora. Your next news update, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Monday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
We, sir, we are the diverse America who are alarmed and anxious that your new administration will not protect us. Our planet.
I can tell you, I wasn't offended by what was said. I'll leave to others whether that was the appropriate venue to say it.
Very thorough and in-depth discussion in the time we had, and appreciate the chance to speak with the president-elect.
I don't know this Mike Flynn, but that Mike Flynn is a serious, intelligent guy.
Qualified to be National Security Advisor, the old Mike Flynn?
The old Mike Flynn, definitely. I just don't know the new Mike Flynn.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. And so Friday night, it wasn't the worst night a nationally elected Republican has ever had at the theater. But,
hey,
is it
too soon for Abraham Lincoln references.
Is it too soon?
Yeah, really. That's so insensitive. What about Mary Todd? I mean, how could you put her in that position?
150 years is too soon. But it wasn't a great night, although, as you heard at the top, Pence took it in stride and Donald Trump took it to Twitter. So Mike Pence and family and friends go to see Hamilton.
Yeah, he's there with his children, people.
In New York City, where I have seen it as well.
Same venue, right? Same theater, same row. I thought we were in the same row, weren't you?
Have not changed it from the Richard Rogers Theater, I presume.
Well, you were in the same row, right?
I was also booed.
Uh-huh.
With a smattering of cheers when I sat down. Yeah, it was something like that. And so, everybody, you see the pictures, everybody turns around as they're being seated and taking their pictures and whatnot. And then at the end, Brandon Dixon, who's the actor who plays Aaron Burr in Hamilton, stopped Mike Pence before he and his entourage exited the theater and said this.
Vice President-elect Pence, we welcome you and we truly thank you for joining us here at Hamilton, an American Musical. We really do. We, sir, we are the diverse America who are alarmed and anxious that your new administration will not protect us, our planet, our children, our parents, or defend us and uphold our inalienable rights, sir. But we truly hope that this show has inspired you to uphold our American values and to work on behalf of all of us. All of us. This wonderful American story told by a diverse group of men and women of different colors, creeds, and orientations.
Yeah. So, Mike Pence said after the show that I wasn't going to work for all Americans, but then when Brandon Dixon lectured me and said I should, I changed my mind.
Yeah, I mean, that was, people complain that Trump is such a bully. Mike Pence got bullied by a bunch of self-serving actors.
Here we go again
No.
with this word bully.
Well, they created an unsafe space. It was an uncomfortable space for him. I know Mike Pence doesn't care, and he's rolling with it, saying, that's their right to freedom of speech, and that's America. But honestly, that was disgusting. And Donald Trump's right. They do owe him an apology. And there's a hashtag out there, hashtag boycott Hamilton. And I think people should boycott Hamilton. Now, I know it's sold out until the end of 2017, but
that could
they're
change.
True Americans. They should boycott Hamilton.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Do you agree with Amy? They should boycott Hamilton, that Brandon Dixon and the cast of Hamilton, diverse as it is, owes Mike Pence, Vice President Pence, an apology.
I mean, he got up and started getting out just for safety reasons. I guess his Secret Service detail had him go out into the hallway. He listened to the rest of the speech from the hallway, and then he left. And we're learning this morning that the actors and the producer of Hamilton spent all day, because they knew that he was coming to the show, Dan. They spent all day working on that.
Well, it was a prepared statement that he read.
I know, but I'm just saying because they got word that he was coming. And people in the audience that paid a lot of money to see Hamilton were not pleased.
I don't think that anything the cast said was disrespectful.
We spent a lot of money to come and see Hamilton, and we really don't want to hear political statements.
Yeah, so these people were upset. They spent a lot of money. A lot of people come from out of town, such what you did, to see this, and they didn't want politics interjected in what was supposed to be entertainment.
Well, here's the thing. I disagree with you. I take the position of Mike Pence, which is to recommend Hamilton after the incident. I still recommend Hamilton. He did. You heard at the top, he does not expect or need any apology. I don't need a safe space. Conservatives don't need safe spaces. Vice presidents of the United States do not need safe spaces. If an actor wants to make a spectacle of himself, as Brandon Dixon did, well, fine. That's fine. This is you're the vice president of the United States. It's attendant to the job. It seems like we're going back to the Megyn Kelly conversation about criticism being attendant to the job of being a multi-million-dollar newscaster, newsreader, whatever. And here's the thing, Brandon Dixon. Brandon Dixon is a constitutional scholar in the same way Daniel Day-Lewis freed the slaves. He's just an actor. You're not supposed to take theater folk seriously in the outside world. No. You allow them, you enjoy them to be masters of the craft of which they are masters, and you limit it there. I don't understand why people have such a difficult time separating. You can be exquisite. You can be an artist in one area, and you can be an incompetent buffoon in other areas, perhaps every other area of life. Well, why is that so difficult to reconcile?
Because
I think you laugh it off.
No, these liberals are still grieving that Hillary didn't win, so they took it. They're going to try to stick it to Mike Pence. It was, and it's already gotten 15 million hits. I mean, they've gotten what they wanted, the publicity that they wanted.
Have
but
they gotten what they wanted?
Right.
Have they gotten what they wanted? I mean, all this does is push everybody into their respective corner. You think Brandon Dixon persuaded any deplorable, quote unquote, to come over to the side of the race hustling left? By the way, it should note, because he emphasized diversity so much. We talked about it in this show. You'll recall that Hamilton got in a bit of controversy.
Oh, that's right. Even
ran afoul of strictures with respect to the theater by having a non-whites only casting call.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So how diverse is that cast up there, Dan?
Well, I mean, it's just interesting to me. I mean, yeah. I mean, that doesn't bother me either. And so all Brandon Dixon is doing is kind of putting his hypocrisy on display. Could we endure that? Could Vice President Pence endure that? Well, sure he could.
Governor, what did you think of the cast comments, and did you consider it rude?
Well, first off, my daughter and I and her cousins really enjoyed the show. Hamilton is just an incredible production, and incredibly talented people, and it was a real joy to be there. And when we arrived, we heard a few boos, and we heard some cheers, and I nudged my kids and reminded them that's what freedom sounds like. And But at the end, I did hear what was said from the stage, and I can tell you, I wasn't offended by what was said. I'll leave to others whether that was the appropriate venue to say it. But I do want to say that the basic element, the center of that message is one that I want to address, and that is I know this is a very disappointing time for people that did not see their candidate win in this national election. I know this is a very time for some people, and I just want to reassure people that what President-elect Donald Trump said on election night, he absolutely meant from the bottom of his heart. He is preparing to be the president of all of the people of the United States of America.
And so, he's the adult in the room. I mean, that's life. Some people cheer, some people boo. What are you going to do? And at the end of the day, Pence understands that, we could be them demanding our trigger warnings and our safe spaces, but they couldn't be us, and we don't want to be them. I think he's right. Kent and Joliet, are on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, my only point about, I guess 2 points. First of all, where was this gentleman for the last 7.5 years with this Barack Obama?
Yeah, what do you expect?
Most racially divisive country in my lifetime, and probably in the last 50 years. And the second thing is, if I was Donald Trump, I would just audit him.
Okay, thanks for the call, Ken.
Shut it down.
In a related story, and for a similar reaction, Michael Shannon, Michael Shannon, he's the actor. Did you ever see Boardwalk Empire?
Yes.
He's Boardwalk Empire. He's like the guy who is investigating Nucky Thompson. And then he's been in a bunch of stuff. He's most recently in Nocturnal Animals with Amy Adams, which I saw over the weekend, is very good, and he was very good in it. But he's also a moron when he's outside of his craft. Here we go again. The wall isn't between the U.S. and Mexico, Shannon told an outlet. The wall is between people who voted for Trump and people who didn't. We've got to do something about it. I don't want to live in a country where people voted for Trump. I want to live in some other effing country. But I don't want to run away, so we're just going to have to bust things up. There's a lot of old people who who need to realize they've had a nice life, and it's time for them to move on. Okay, Zeke Emanuel, because they're the ones who go out and vote for these a-holes. If you look at the young people between 18 and 25, it was up to them. Hillary would be president. And, of course, don't we want to be led by the judgment of 18 to 25-year-olds, Mr. Shannon? No offense to the seniors out there. My mom's a senior citizen. But if you're voting for Trump, it's time for the urn. Okay. Happy Mother's Day from Michael Shannon. Michael Shannon is a very good actor, and I have enjoyed him in a number of works, including the two I mentioned. And you know what? I don't take anything he has to say about public policy or politics seriously because he has exposed himself as a mope. And so you move on, and you let the left be the repository of mopes like Michael Shannon.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, 4 police shootings in less than 24 hours. We'll explain where it happened and how the officers are doing. But first, here's your forecast. Plenty of sunshine today, a crisp high of 41 degrees. Then tomorrow, considerable cloudiness with a brief shower or two in the afternoon, a high of 45. And your eve of Thanksgiving, you're going to have on and off rain and drizzle, a high in the mid to upper 40s. Let's get those travel times and say good morning to Jim Telemonte.
Well, good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. We're off to a nice start, though it is cold. Time to get those winter emergency kits ready. But as far as the traffic goes, not bad. Inbound I-57, we're now seeing delays from Halstead to the Rye, the usual early morning stuff. It's 19 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Outbound fine at 15. Bishop Ford just a little congested approaching the Rhine. And the inbound Rhine starting to get a little bit of congestion approaching downtown. Not seeing significant delays yet on westbound 190 at O'Hare. You can expect that soon. The other expressways and tollways for now are looking fine. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
A couple years ago, I had a severe accident which disabled my right hand and caused chronic pain and complete suffering. It took many years before really we figured out exactly what it was or how to treat it. My whole goal was I did not want to be on high levels of pain medicine. After some time, I went to see Dr. Kenneth Candido to try to figure out the source of the pain and a solution and how to solve it. He listens. I'm going to cry because it's so real. I've been through so much, and he wants to help his patients, and he's there for me whenever I need him.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. I have a simple message for you. If you or someone you love or someone you know has chronic pain, contact us. Treating chronic pain issues is what we do. We can make it better. Get an appointment and let's talk. MyPainChicago.com, MyPainChicago.com. All the info is available at MyPainChicago.com. Let's make you pain-free.
Second Amendment Sports is a beautiful new 4,000 square foot showroom with an outstanding selection of Ruger firearms and accessories. Choose from over 25 Rugers in stock, from Vaquero revolvers to 10/22 rifles. Enjoy great Ruger quality and pricing that includes an excellent warranty plus customer service. And you won't pay gun or Cook County taxes at Second Amendment. Ask about affordable memberships offering range time and discounts. Practice on one of 14 premium ventilated shooting range. For Christmas, a Second Amendment Sports gift card is perfect. Second Amendment Sports and Ruger, excellence in firearms. Call 815-385-5522 for information or visit secondamendsports.com, 815-385-5522, or online at secondamendsports.com. Head north to Second Amendment Sports in McHenry, Chicagoland's Ruger retail headquarters. Open Black Friday with specials and giveaways all day. Second Amendment Sports, safety, recreation, protection.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, I just wanted to pick up on our conversation at Hamilton over at upstream-ideas.com. The first week or so, the opening of Hamilton in Chicago had somebody go out there and do a man on the street with patrons of Hamilton and ask them about that whole flap of Hamilton putting out a casting call for non-whites only. And the responses are interesting in terms of, should race be a factor in getting a job?
Do you think race should be a qualifying factor in getting a job?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely. It's wrong.
No. I don't believe so. I've had my job now for 14 years, and the only way I got this job is because of my race.
You got your job because you're African American?
That is correct.
In New York, for the production of Hamilton, a casting call went out asking for non-white actors only. Was that wrong, or is that okay?
In the world of art, there's a lot more flexibility than in, your typical 9-to-5 job.
No, I don't think that was wrong. I think this is what makes Hamilton interesting because it's so diverse.
I think that was okay, but...
And if we're talking about what is normally represented in Broadway, if you're trying to make a correction for that, then that's a very interesting that the casting call had that.
A different principle applies to different situations, is that?
Well, this is a production, and this is entertainment. So that's unique. When you're talking about everyday business, I think it's wrong to do anything based on race.
Isn't it interesting? This is a segment that's over at upstream-ideas.com called Follow the Logic. But isn't that interesting? People on the one hand, in the abstract, say, no, race shouldn't be a factor in your job. Generally speaking, these are all Hamilton patrons, Chicago denizens, ostensibly. And but when it comes to art, somehow there is an exemption. Now, the flip side is to say when Will Smith boycotts the Oscars because he didn't get a nomination.
He deserved.
Yeah.
Lamp.
Or there's this many black actors or actresses in this many movies or this many plays, and why is there more representation of this group and that group in movie? So on the one hand, they kind of want it every which way but loose, does the left, when it comes to race and their latitude in using race as a factor for casting versus as a factor for casting your personnel in your office. I just find it fascinating.
But wasn't part of the provocativeness of Hamilton was that it was all diverse? I mean, that it was all African Americans and Latinos and non-whites. I I mean, wasn't that part of the premise of to make it edgy and different?
Well, it is, but I mean, I guess I say that doesn't offend me at all. I very much enjoyed the play.
Yeah.
But
I mean, did you see color, Dan, when you were watching Hamilton?
Yeah, I see color. I see it. Yeah, I left-wing hypocrisy. One other related story on this. Over the weekend, did you see this? Trump cups at Starbucks.
Trump cups?
Yeah, there's a kind of an I am Spartacus protest going on among Trump voters. They're going to Starbucks, and they're saying their name is Trump so that the barista has to call out Trump when they get their order.
That's funny.
Now, I like it. It's fun. I'm as big as Kirk Douglas fan as anybody.
That's good.
But here's the thing. If you really want to stick it to that conservative bigot, Howard Schultz, go to Dunkin' Donuts. Go to our guy Carlos and Elston.
Elston and Addison.
Yeah, they have better coffee anyway.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Are you a business owner or manager who wants your facility to be more locked down? Do you occasionally need to limit access to your building from certain employees at certain times? Turn to Access Master, a proud supporter of AM 560 and Feed the Children. Access Master makes managing access to your facility easy. Whether you need to control access at a single entrance or to all your doors, Access Master will work with you to develop a plan customized for your business security needs. Everyone in your organization can have their own unique access profile to allow them access at certain times of days at various entrances. You can even monitor when employees are on site and receive an email or text notification in real time if employees need to enter your facility after hours. Business owners and managers, make an appointment to review options for controlling access to your facility. Contact Access Master today to help control access to your facilities. Call 800-321-2850. That's 800-321-2850. Please mention this ad.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The left uses Jeff Sessions as a dry run for Trump's Supreme Court nominee at 5:38.
And later, 4 police officers shot within a 24-hour period. What is going on? Let's get the latest from Mike Scott, who joins us in the newsroom. Good morning, Mike.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Investigations are ongoing after 4 officers were shot in separate attacks across the country yesterday in San Antonio. Detective Benjamin Marconi was shot to death execution style, running a traffic ticket not far from police headquarters. Police Chief William McManus says the detective lost his life in an act of cowardice.
When the suspect reached the driver's side door, he fired a gunshot toward Detective Marconi, striking him in the head.
Officers were also wounded in St. Louis, suburban Kansas City, and Sanibel, Florida. At least 27 are dead after a suicide bomber blew himself up inside a Shiite mosque in Kabul, Afghanistan today. The latest attack on the Shiite Muslim community, who make up about 15% of Afghanistan's population. President-elect Donald Trump's pick for the White House Chief of Staff, not ruling out some sort of registry for ultra-dangerous Muslims. Reince Priebus saying on NBC's Meet the Press.
What we're trying to do is say that there are some people that are radicalized, and there are some people that have to be prevented from coming into this country.
Priebus says there would likely be a halt on immigration from some countries. The man who would like to lead National Democrats says his party didn't focus enough on economics in the last presidential election.
We were talking a lot about issues that weren't deeply economic, and I think that provided a huge opening for Donald Trump to come in, and that led to the disaster that happened.
Ohio Congressman Tim Ryan on CNN's State of the Union. Apple offering free replacement batteries for some iPhone 6s devices that keep shutting down. And this morning, scientists and doctors are warning that antibiotics might be useless within a few years. Researchers in New Zealand say deadly bacteria are growing more resistant to antibiotics because of mainly overuse. O'Hare International Airport workers voting to go on strike. They'll announce the date and time of their action around 10 a.m. today. And authorities say a 9-year-old suburban Detroit girl drowned in a hotel swimming pool while attending a cheerleading competition in Elsip. Giants over the Bears 22-16. Linebacker Leonard Floyd hospitalized for evaluation then released after a neck injury. NBA, Jimmy Butler 40, and the Bulls win over the Lakers 118-110. The news, a service of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. This Thanksgiving, thousands are making a wish for a second chance at life. Help save lives. Sign up to share the gift of life as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Be sure to tell your family your wishes. Go to organdonor.gov. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher explains why some people voted for Trump.
I don't want to gloat because it's not, I don't want to hurt people. You know, I'm taking a cue from Donald Trump. You know what he said about Bill and Hillary Clinton? He said, I don't want to hurt them, but she did some pretty bad things. The compassion that he has for people really did shine through. Trump haters don't want to admit that.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
Hello, everyone, and here we go again with Karen Lewis and the Chicago Teachers Union demanding more money from the Chicagoland taxpayers. Well, I say enough is enough. The teachers get paid from the property taxes that homeowners pay every year. If the teachers union gets more money, that means your property taxes are going to go higher. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent representative for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other health insurance carriers. For months now, I have been telling you about purchasing health savings account PPO plans that will cost you approximately 40% less in monthly premiums than you're currently paying now. Well, the same thing applies to the teachers union. I can show the union that they can purchase a more comprehensive health insurance plan that is in full compliance with the Affordable Care Act and will cost the taxpayers up to 40% less in monthly health insurance premiums. For more information, you can call me at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
5:35, a check of the roads now in our AM 560 traffic center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound side of the Stevenson, we're seeing a little congestion now around Cicero. The inbound Ryan has a 2-minute delay from the Stevenson into downtown Chicago. I-57, 21 minutes. I-80 to the Verge, Bishop 420. Tollways are looking good. There are no delays right now in northwest Indiana. Traffic is a service of Sprint. This holiday season, switch to Sprint and learn how you can get 2 Samsung Galaxy S7s for one nice price. Dash to your local Sprint store, sprint.com/holiday, or call 1-800-SPRINT1 today. Happy holidays to you and your family from Sprint. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer is a service of Firestone Complete Auto Care, only on Black Friday until 10 a.m. Come into Firestone Complete Auto Care for their early bird special. Free tire installation package with a 4-tire purchase. Go to driveafirestone.com. For more details, whatever you drive a Firestone. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Plenty of sunshine, 41 today. Clouds on the increase overnight, low 25. 24 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Steve Beeman Show with co-host Carol Parisi, empowering you Sunday evenings at 8 right here on AM 560.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, very disturbing yesterday. These 4 police officers were shot, starting with the officer in San Antonio that Mike Scott was reporting on, who was executed while conducting a traffic stop. He's in his car writing a ticket after having stopped a car.
Right in front of the police station, too.
Right, exactly. And the car pulls up behind the squad car. The guy walks out, shoots the officer in his vehicle twice in the head, kills him. He's pronounced dead at the hospital, and that suspect is still at large. And then St. Louis, there was a similar sort of incident.
Yeah, a 46-year-old father of 3, been on the force for 20 years. He wasn't even with traffic stop. This guy in a car just allegedly drove up next to him and shot him twice in the face through the passenger side window. Wasn't even traffic stop. That, and the officer, he could speak, thank God, he's going to survive, but he couldn't give a description of the gunman. And here's the St. Louis Police Chief, Sam Dotson.
This officer was not involved in a traffic stop. This officer was not trying to pull this car over. This officer was driving down the road and was ambushed by an individual who pointed a gun at him from inside of his car and shot out the police officer's window.
And then you have an officer shot in Gladstone, Missouri, which is a suburb of Kansas City. That was during a traffic stop. That suspect was shot as well. And then in Sanibel, Florida, have you ever been there? It's like a sleepy beach town.
Yeah.
For the first time in the department's history, an officer was shot at there, and he's expected to survive too. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, that's very rare to have 4 police shootings within 24 hours.
Well, in San Antonio, it may be related. The police are surmising, but they don't know. But it may be related to a police-involved shooting that earlier Sunday, a standoff, and then police shot and killed a suspect who pointed a gun at police. This is in San Antonio. The others in St. Louis and Florida, Missouri. It's more curious. I mean, it sounds like the targeting of police, which we've seen before in Dallas, in Baton Rouge, that Houston deputy sheriff.
I mean, 58 police officers have been shot in the line of duty so far this year. 58. That's up 60% from last year. So I do believe police officers are under attack. I mean, if not, they're faced with civil litigation or criminal charges every day by someone with flashing an iPhone in their face. Now they're under attack and getting ambushed.
Well, The War on Cops, the Heather McDonald book, is a good read and a timely one considering what's happening on the streets. And it's also part of the conversation that will inform confirmation hearings, for example, for Attorney General Jeff Sessions, which, unsurprisingly, the left took out after Jeff Sessions on Friday after his nomination was announced, and we discussed it on this show, including with Fox News' Brett Baer, suggesting that they're not going to give Jeff Sessions a pass. There's enough in his background where they can play racial politics with him. They can demagogue him as he was demagogued 25 years ago when Ronald Reagan nominated him for the federal bench, and that was derailed. I see this. I see Jeff Sessions ultimately getting confirmed, but I see this as a bit of a dry run for what the real main event is going to be, and that's with filibustering and trying to derail Donald Trump's Supreme Court nominee, if it is indeed one of the names from his list of 21, which Kellyanne Conway said last week it's going to be.
And why does that scare the left so much? I mean,
because they don't want another Scalia on the bench. And Trump, based on the list that was cobbled together in conjunction with the Federalist Society and the Heritage Foundation, they've got a lot of Scalia proteges, I would say, on that list. And so they're going to use what they have in their arsenal: race and gender identity politics, bigot baiting, to try and derail the nomination, to try and stop Trump and his first 100 days in its tracks by focusing all of the attention on the Supreme Court nominee whenever that nominee is proposed, and taking attention away, mind share away from a policy agenda.
Is there an African-American female on that list by any chance with Supreme Court nominees or possible nominees? Because all I heard all weekend was, look at Trump. It's all the good old white boys network. There's nobody in his cabinet that's a female. There's nobody in his cabinet that's diverse. And I'm like, who cares? I mean, first of all, I don't think there's a lot of female Republicans out there to choose from. And the ones that are there, I mean, Nikki Haley, I don't know if she's going to be part of his cabinet, but I think she is enjoying her job as governor of South Carolina. And Carly Fiorina, who I thought would make a great, Commerce Secretary or Secretary of the Treasury, she's, I don't know what happened. I mean, he reached out to her. He did call her a few days after he won the nomination, but haven't heard from her.
Well, can I suggest a couple things?
Yes.
One is, nobody cares what your Lakeview liberal friends think about his cabinet, and no one is going to take their advice and counsel on the issue, so they can screech all they want. They've demonstrated who they are and why their opinion is without interest. Number one. Number two, per their fact-free opinions, per their ignorance, embarrassingly ignorant they are, Donald Trump has nominated all of one cabinet officer, one cabinet secretary. Pete Sessions. Jeff Sessions, excuse me. Pete Sessions is the congressman. Jeff Sessions is the only cabinet level secretary who's been nominated. Pompeo for CIA director, yes, that's not a cabinet position. Flynn for NSA, that's not a cabinet position. So why don't you pull the reins, Lakeview lunatics?
Oh, they have a new name, Lakeview Lunatics. I like that.
And give it a little room to breathe. Here's something else I wonder if we could get agreement on. Do you suspect that any president will nominate people for his cabinet that are loyalists and that he trusts? Is this shocking? Any executive is going to surround himself with people he trusts, not people he doesn't trust. Is this a revelatory statement? Of course, Pete Sessions. Oh, by the way, even David Brooks, Obama's favorite Republican, even the hallowed David Brooks from the ivory tower of the Gray Lady, said PBS over the weekend in unintentional, hilarious fashion, as only Brooks can say it.
What did he say?
He said, "Look, just because Trump is nominating supporters for key posts doesn't mean they're unqualified." What a concession. He has said they actually have very impressive resumes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Pete Sessions, excuse me, I keep doing
Jeff
it now.
Sessions.
Jeff Sessions is eminently qualified to be Attorney General. We'll talk to somebody who knows him, former U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Illinois, Fred Foreman, at the bottom of the 6 o'clock hour. More about it. But Jeff Sessions, U.S. Attorney, Attorney General of the state of Alabama, in addition to, of course, being United States Senator, there's really no argument about his qualifications. And to all the race hustling that's being done by the left on Jeff Sessions, as was done against him 30 years ago now, it's worth pointing out that as U.S. Attorney in Alabama, Sessions prosecuted a member of the KKK who murdered a black teenager. And when he was Attorney General, he consummated that prosecution by essentially imposing the death penalty against this KKK member. He has also, as U.S. Attorney, filed a number of cases for school desegregation in Alabama.
That certainly didn't come up on the cable news this weekend.
Yeah, so this is Mark Hemingway has a good piece in the Weekly Standard on it. So, there's the session record, and then there's the session demagoguery you get from the left. And in terms of him being leveled up for a federal judicial appointment in the 80s and that being derailed, let me just suggest there's a difference between being a victim of racial politics, being a casualty of racial politics, and being a racist. And Jeff Sessions in the 80s was the former. There's little evidence to support the contention that he's the latter, except one assistant U.S. attorney from back in the day that claims he said a couple of racist things. I don't know what he has said or not said, but his record is certainly runs in contravention of the accusations. And one other thing about Sessions, in terms of comedy that the left pretends to like, except when they're not in power, Jeff Sessions voted to confirm Eric Holder as Obama's Attorney General.
I did hear that. So
because
one thing they mentioned,
because if the person is qualified, the idea of comedy in the Senate is you give the president the people he wants in his key positions, so long as they meet the threshold of qualification for the job. And Jeff Sessions thought, Eric Holder's legal background met the threshold, even though, of course, he turned out to be a catastrophe as Attorney General. On a related note,
our friend Todd Ricketts.
Well, Todd Ricketts,
Commerce Secretary, possibility.
There's
did you talk to him or one of his people?
There's all kinds of names being floated around. Todd went and met with Donald Trump over the weekend.
Yeah, on Saturday.
Eric Bolling.
Yeah, I heard that.
Fox News host there's some talk about him. He was a financial services guy, trader, before he was on Fox News.
Wilbur Ross. He seems like he's high up in the running for that job.
Lou Eisenberg, I think, is probably the odds-on favorite. Secretary of Defense, Mad Dog Mattis.
Oh, he's going to get that job because that's one of the candidates that Donald Trump walked out with and spoke to the media that this guy's the real deal. He's Mad Dog. Like only Trump could
he is like an iconic figure in the Marine Corps, 44 years in command. So that would be an excellent choice. One other choice, if for some reason Mattis falls through for whatever reason, that kind of resurfaced over the weekend. And you'll remember I suggested it would be an interesting pick for his VP running mate very early on after he had effectively secured the nomination. And that's former Virginia Senator Jim Webb, who's decorated Vietnam veteran. That would be an interesting, reach across the aisle, even though Webb is a more conservative Democrat, still was a Democrat senator from Virginia, a Democrat candidate for president of the United States, and he would be certainly qualified to be Secretary of Defense as well. So that could be an interesting pick. And then on the matter of retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, the NSA, who's going to be Trump's national security advisor, doesn't need Senate confirmation. Even Thomas Friedman, going back to what Brooks said, about, hey, some of these people are actually qualified. Yeah, thank you so much. Thomas Friedman, no man of the right, on Meet the Press yesterday talking about Lieutenant General Michael Flynn and his chops.
I've seen General Flynn in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Washington at the DIA. I don't know the General Flynn who's been tweeting, but I had many encounters with him, or several, in his job as one of the most intelligent officers that we've had. He and Stan McChrystal together created the killing machine that took down al-Qaeda in Iraq. And they did it in an amazing way, basically leveraging big data. They'd take down a terrorist leader, they'd take his computer and his cell phone, they'd pour it into a computer, find all the links, and then do one raid and then another and then another. I don't know this Mike Flynn, but that Mike Flynn is a serious, intelligent guy.
Qualified to be National Security Advisor, the old Mike Flynn?
The old Mike Flynn, definitely. I just don't know the new Mike Flynn.
Yeah, the whole new Mike Flynn is just a bunch of nonsense. That's just because Mike Flynn is making political statements now, that run counter to Thomas Friedman's politics. Oh, I don't know the new Mike Flynn. The Mike Flynn who's going to do this job as National Security Advisor is the old Mike Flynn, quote unquote, that Friedman is talking about, who, as he correctly recounted, along with Stanley McChrystal, decimated al-Qaeda in Iraq. Serious people Trump is surrounding himself with and leading with national security, which makes a lot of sense because that's probably his weakest of weak spots.
And then my favorite, Mitt Romney, met 2 hours with him on Saturday. He's under active and serious consideration, Dan, for Secretary of State.
He's not.
No, and Mitt Romney's friends even told the Salt Lake City
No, he's not.
Times. No, they said that he wants the position. He wants to get back into government.
Not going to get it.
He's not going to get it? Well, he sounded pretty positive when he left the meeting.
Far-reaching conversation with regards to the various theaters in the world where there are interests of the United States of real significance. We discussed those areas and exchanged our views on those topics. Very thorough and in-depth discussion in the time we had, and appreciate the chance to speak with the President-elect and look forward to the coming administration and things.
Yeah, the only reason I would be rooting for Mitt Romney to get Secretary of State is because it would horrify and prove wrong for the umpteenth time hacks like Matthew Dowd on Stephanopoulos' little panel on that ABC This Week show. The enemies inside the perimeter of the Republican Party who would just be aghast that Romney would even consider accepting a post in a Trump administration. That's the only reason it would be fun to see Romney as Secretary of State. Otherwise,
don't you trust him? I think he'd make an excellent Secretary of State. Very diplomatic, very level-headed, a proven business leader. I just think he'd be perfect.
Yeah, I know you're in love with Mitt Romney, but that does not qualify him for Secretary of State.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Have you put off seeing the dentist because you can't afford to go? Are big dental bills taking a big toll on your wallet? Would you like to have dental insurance but think it's too expensive? If you answered yes to any of these questions, call Physicians Mutual Insurance Company for a free information kit. See how you can help protect your teeth and your wallet for less than $1 a day. 1-800-900-9385. This is real dental insurance that can help cover over 350 procedures, all the ones you're most likely to need. Everything from cleanings and fillings to crowns and dentures. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired or on Medicare. You can see any dentist you choose, and you'll never pay a deductible. Call in the next 10 minutes and we'll rush you a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-900-9385. That's 1-800-900-9385. 1-800-900-9385.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity. In a recent interview with Charlie Rose, celebrated left-wing snarkist Jon Stewart lamented that no one in the government press corps ever asked Donald Trump what makes America great. The failure of a group that generally doesn't consider America so great to ask that question is unsurprising. It nonetheless remains an important one, and this post-election period of reflection is an opportune time to take it up. America is great because our founders encoded into the DNA of the body politic that God is good and man is not. Our rights come from a perfect God and cannot be taken away by imperfect men. Thus, our framers limited man's power over his fellow man by diluting it across co-equal branches and subordinate laboratories of democracy. America is great because we're equal before God and have set that same standard we inadequately fulfill in our treatment of each other. America is great because we're accountable before God and disposed, however insufficiently, to set the same bar for each other. America is great because we're called by God to live lives of service and freely do so every day in communion with each other and in repudiation of modern identity politics. America is great because we seek God's grace even while recognizing we're unworthy of it.
People who can afford a LASIK procedure sure are lucky. Imagine being able to throw away your contacts and glasses. Imagine waking up tomorrow with 20/20 vision. Too bad everyone can't afford LASIK. Well, guess what? There's a company that agrees with you. TLC Laser Eye Centers is now offering great prices on high-quality LASIK to make it affordable for everyone. That means you get the latest FDA-approved all-laser LASIK technology for less than what others charge. And if you call right now, we'll schedule a free appointment so you can discover if LASIK is right for you. Results may vary. Call 1-800-300-3992. Even better, if you're one of the first 100 callers, ask about an extra $400 off your all-laser LASIK procedure. That's $200 off per eye. We've already performed over 2 million procedures. Let us help you. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you deserve for less than what others charge. For your free appointment, call 1-800-300-3992. 1-800-300-3992.
I know a perfect holiday gift. Did you guess it? Yep, it's MyPillow, and MyPillow will extend the money-back guarantee through March. Plus, if you buy one premium MyPillow, you still get the second one and 2 additional Go Anywhere MyPillows for free. So you're actually getting 2 premium and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows for the price of one with an extended money-back guarantee. It is the best offer ever. You know, the National Sleep Foundation made MyPillow their official pillow. It's washable to remove germs that cause allergies, acne, and asthma. And you'll sleep better. I know I do. So visit MyPillow.com, click the radio listener special tab, and use the promo code Amy. You'll get 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows for the price of one, plus the extended money-back guarantee through March for your holiday gifts. Or call 800-489-0201. Mention the radio listener special and be sure to use the promo code Amy. That's MyPillow.com or 800-489-0201.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, if you're one of the first 100 callers, you can try Transcend risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-3585. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. But don't delay. To guarantee your 10-night in-home trial, you must be one of the first 100 callers to call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-3585. Again, that's 1-800-600-3585.
I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Mortgage rates have dropped again. In fact, recently, mortgage rates have dropped to the second lowest level in history. Now is the time for you to take advantage of these historically low rates and save serious money every month by refinancing your mortgage. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is all the way down to 3.5%, APR 3.57%. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN to see how far we can lower your mortgage payment. For 6 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the third year, they also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. It's a great time to refinance with Quicken Loans and save hundreds every month. This ultra-low rate of 3.5% won't last long. So call 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
The following is an incredible, life-changing free offer for anyone with hearing problems who wants to start hearing everything more clearly again. We're now offering free in-home trials of a revolutionary hearing breakthrough called Listen Clear to anyone who calls this special toll-free number now. 1-800-900-5724. Call in the next 10 minutes and you'll also qualify for free shipping and free batteries for life. Listen Clear is precisely designed by top audio engineers. It adjusts to let you find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And Listen Clear is so invisible, people may not even know you're wearing it. And it's so lightweight, you may even forget you're wearing it too. Don't miss this special life-changing opportunity to hear everything more clearly again for free with a 100% free in-home trial, free shipping, and even free batteries for life. For free information, call now. 1-800-900-5724. That's 1-800-900-5724. 1-800-900-5724.
There could be a holiday season strike at O'Hare. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. He was shot in the face twice as he sat in traffic. A St. Louis police officer in critical condition this morning.
He didn't pull anybody over. He didn't stop anybody. He didn't point a gun at anyone. He was targeted because he was a police officer.
Mayor Francis Slay, the gunman, was tracked down and killed in a shootout early this morning. 2 other cops were shot at traffic stops last night, one in Gladstone, Missouri, the other in Sanibel, Florida.
People on the patio said they thought they heard gunshots.
She works at a restaurant nearby. Both of those officers are expected to survive, and suspects were taken into custody, but the search is still on for whoever shot and murdered a San Antonio police detective yesterday morning.
Police Sergeant Jesse Salome stressed early today that no arrest has been made in the death of Detective Benjamin Marconi, who was shot twice in the head as he sat in his patrol car writing a traffic ticket. Police have determined the suspect vehicle is a black Mitsubishi Galant. A makeshift memorial to the 20-year police department veteran sprung up overnight at the downtown police headquarters in San Antonio. Jim Forsyth, Fox News.
President-elect Trump will meet today with another rival candidate he helped knock out of the Republican primaries. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has more live.
Former Texas Governor Rick Perry is the latest name to be dropped in the list of meetings with the president-elect, who said he made a couple of deals over the weekend. Vice President-elect Mike Pence was on Fox News Sunday yesterday saying Trump was talking to a lot of people.
He's going to surround himself with men and women from diverse backgrounds who are going to help him move that agenda forward.
Now, over the weekend at his New Jersey golf club, the president-elect met with 2012 Republican nominee Mitt Romney as a potential Secretary of State and a retired Marine general who's in the running for Defense Secretary. Dave.
Tanya, in France, anti-terror police have made 7 arrests and thwarted what the Interior Minister calls a new potential attack. These arrests were before the opening of the famed Christmas market in Strasbourg. This is Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
Skies are partly cloudy. We have 27 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 4 are dead after an early morning house fire. It happened in a northern Indiana town, the town of Flora, about 30 minutes east of Purdue University in West Lafayette. Firefighters tell us this morning the children and a woman were caught in that house fire in Flora. The woman badly hurt. Fire investigators say a medical helicopter took her and 2 police officers to the hospital for treatment. No word on how badly the woman or officers are injured at this moment, but again, 4 children are dead in that fire. O'Hare workers who voted to go on strike will soon announce when they plan to take their action. Service Employees Union members say they'll announce the date of their strike around 10 a.m. this morning. About 500 workers committed to that strike after a vote last Thursday. A judge has denied bail to 2 teenagers charged with first-degree murder in the shooting death of a Chicago congressman's 15-year-old grandson. The 16-year-old boy and 17-year-old girl appeared before a Cook County judge Sunday afternoon. That judge called the killing of Representative Danny Davis's grandson a callous disregard for human life. Davis spoke with reporters afterwards.
Here he was in the house, at home, minding his own business, and some intruders would come and snuff his life away.
Police say Javon Wilson was shot Friday following an argument over basketball shoes. The teens were arrested Saturday. Authorities say a 9-year-old suburban Detroit girl drowned in a hotel swimming pool while attending a cheerleading competition in the Chicago suburbs. Cook County Medical Examiner says the girl was identified as Adriana Douglas of Highland Park, Michigan. Police say the incident occurred at the Doubletree by Hilton Hotel in Alsip. They arrived on reports of an unresponsive person. The girl was taken to a nearby hospital where she later died. The ME's office says the cause and manner of the girl's death will be released at a later time. NFL, Giants over the Bears, 22-16. NBA, Jimmy Butler 40, and the Bulls win over the LA Lakers, 118-110. The news, a service of Hum by Verizon. Hum by Verizon, the technology designed to make your car smarter, safer, and more connected. It's easy. Just plug it in, and you'll get vehicle diagnostics, emergency assistance, vehicle location, and more. Get some peace of mind and a smarter, safer, more connected car. Visit hum.com now. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
As a new president prepares to take office, questions swirl about the future of this administration.
Republicans on Capitol Hill have been watching this very closely because...
What message is Trump sending to the young girl?
And the future of the nation.
We're confident about the transition, and we're very, very excited about getting to work for the American people.
Get answers to those questions here.
We should be a little careful about casually throwing around the term anti-Semitic.
We spend all of our time defending ourselves.
This is AM 560, The Answer.
Hiring people is probably the worst part of my job.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. One click and my job was posted to 100+ job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 100+ job sites. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/expand. That's ZipRecruiter.com/expand.
I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Recently, mortgage rates have dropped to the second lowest level in history. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is all the way down to 3.5%, APR 3.57%. It's a great time to refinance with Quicken Loans and save hundreds every month. So lock in this ultra-low rate before it goes back up. Call 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Our time is 6:06, and it is time to get an update on the roads in our AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Lee Edens is fine right now with no delays to report. Inbound Kennedy, heavy coming out of the River Road toll to Canfield. 22 minutes O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. Von Eisenhower slow, Manheim to First Avenue. 33 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound fine at 29. Inbound Stevenson, 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38. Slow central to Harlem, there's a crash reported, some debris there. Ryan, 18 minutes, 95th to downtown, I-57, 23 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 425. Traffic is a service of Staples. Staples has low prices on technology for your business. Right now, buy any PC at Staples and get free tech support for 30 days. It'll help you set up your new PC so you don't lose critical files and help connect to your network and your printer. Staples, make more happen. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
A full day of sunshine today, high 41. Clear early, then clouds increasing tonight with a low 25. Cloudy tomorrow with a brief shower or two in the afternoon, high 45. Occasional rain and drizzle tomorrow night with a low of 36. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
23 at O'Hare. We have 28 degrees now along Chicago's lakefront, 25 at Midway. Your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Monday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
We, sir, we are the diverse America who are alarmed and anxious that your new administration will not protect us, our planet.
I can tell you, I wasn't offended by what was said. I'll leave to others whether that was the appropriate venue to say it.
Very thorough and in-depth discussion in the time we had, and appreciate the chance to speak with the president-elect.
I don't know this Mike Flynn, but that Mike Flynn is a serious, intelligent guy.
Qualified to be National Security Advisor, the old Mike Flynn?
The old Mike Flynn, definitely. I just don't know the new Mike Flynn.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and there is still much to discuss about what is happening on campuses, both college campuses and high school campuses, Amy.
And even elementary schools.
Well, are you ready for this?
Does this involve safety pins?
As seen at Tony New Trier High School in Winnetka.
Oh, you mean the New Trier High School?
Mm-hmm.
Which campus? Freshman, soft, junior, senior?
This was posted outside a homeroom on the campus of New Trier.
Okay.
Dear undocumented students, in this classroom there are no walls. You belong here. You're loved. Dear undocumented students at New Trier. Yeah, right. Hilarious.
Oh, no, they are loved. They're wanted.
Excuse me. New Trier undocumented students.
Oh, there's a section of Wilmette that.
Oh, yeah.
There's
No,
some
right,
undocumented.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
Every high school has a pocket of working class people that goes to the school. I don't care if it's New Trier or Lake Forest.
Yeah, right. I mean, maybe some of the maids' kids going to New Trier. That's about it. That Tony white liberal bastion of totalitarianism. Give me a break.
Whose picture did they take down off the wall? Was it Congressman Dold's picture?
Dear black students, in this classroom, your life matters. You are loved. Dear Muslim students and students of Middle Eastern descent, we know you aren't not terrorists. You are loved. Dear Mexican students,
there
are not
Mexican students at New Trier, I'm telling you. But okay, go on. What does it say to them?
You are not rapists or drug dealers. You are loved. Dear female students.
It's a little much. Oh, I can't wait for
men
this one.
cannot grab you. Men will, all caps, respect you. Demand it. You are loved. Dear LGBTQ students.
Here we go.
You are perfect just as you are. You are loved. Dear all students, Cal caps. We will respect each other and learn from one another. You are a beloved part of this country and community. New Trier High School. $20,000 per pupil per kid. And they just can't spend enough up there for that great education they provide, right? Wilmette, Winnetka, Glencoe, Northfield residents, right? What a joke. U of I, where those the bedwetters and cry-bullies will matriculate when they graduate. The Orwellian named Office of Inclusion at U of I. This is a real thing. Post-election discussion spaces and resources. The week of November 14th. Latino Studies Solidarity Hours. Gender and Women's Studies Solidarity Hours. On Wednesday, from 4 to 6, we will offer bystander intervention de-escalation training with New York City-based radical queer feminist social worker and activist Rachel Sarah Levy. Both intervention and de-escalation offer a set of tools which can be employed to assertively calm down a potential volatile situation. I have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
You speaking in tongue?
These are the offerings from the Office of Inclusion at the University of Illinois, financed by your tax dollars. Talking with Racist Uncle Joe, an interactive exercise on discussing race with family. 2 sessions. This is last Wednesday. Engaging with friends and relatives, even coworkers, about challenging topics can be highly stressful, but also an important part of staying true to yourself and your beliefs. Especially true when someone is saying things that are insensitive, rude, or hurtful in matters such as race and gender. This interactive exercise called Racist Uncle Joe is designed to help us prepare to how to respond in a group setting through creativity, compassion, and strategy. This is through the the School of Social Work. Other offerings. The Women's Resource Center will have solidarity hours. The Gender Women's Studies will have solidarity hours. There will be post-election healing spaces at the African American Cultural Center. The Asian American Cultural Center will have solidarity hours. The La Casa Cultural Latina is open all day for anyone who needs a space to process the election. There was a post-election debrief happy hour at the Center for Performing Arts. Join staff, faculty, and other members of our campus community as we gather together. No program or pressure, just space to come and talk. Followed by solidarity hours at the Asian Pacific American Coalition. And then, tap off your evening with the coming together after America's decision at the Black Student Union. Healing space sessions, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. And at the elementary school level, at a number of schools, parents are getting emails about how to explain to your children the election results. Mm-hmm. And if they don't feel safe, they're upset, they can go to their counselor. I mean, it's really, everyone's got to seriously calm down.
Well, I need somebody.
I gave them a week and I'm done.
I need somebody to make me feel safe. And so I'm going to Peter Wood, who's the president of the National Association of Scholars. I need somebody to make me feel safe that scholarship will continue to exist in this America. Peter Wood, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
I'm glad to be here, Dan, and you should know you're loved.
Thank you very much. I really.
Oh, yeah, where's the sign for the white man?
I really appreciate that. I'm glad we're all getting into the spirit of things. What about this? I mean, what I was just ticking off at the University of Illinois, their Office of Inclusion, this is not isolated, and it's something that maybe parents want to get informed about before they fork over 20, 30, 50, 60 grand a year to send their kids to one of these places, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the University of Illinois is just one of thousands of colleges now where the college presidents and the bureaucratic apparatus have jumped in with the idea that the election of Donald Trump is a traumatic thing that needs to be dealt with basically therapy. And the therapy is a form of both encouraging the students to feel angry and then trying to intervene to make their anger go into things like playing with Play-Doh and putting together moments of cocooning into their safe spaces.
Well, don't you think all this...
Can you major in cocooning now?
Probably. Basket weaving, too. Underwater basket weaving. But don't you think that these safe spaces and all this is just really the professors and the administrators projecting their feeling of rejection and their feeling of fear onto the students?
Well, I think it's a mutual thing. The students have been trained from kindergarten up to think that anyone who contradicts them is hurting their feelings, and I think there's probably a genuine moment of just astonishment that they could wake up and see that this person they favored to win the election lost, and then that's translated by many of their faculty members, certainly by the heads of these solidarity groups that are based on ethnicity, sex, sexual preference, and so on, tell them that this feeling of fragility is to be valued and intensified by taking what could be a minor bump in one's life and turning it into a catastrophe. So, yes, we are in the business now in higher education of teaching students to become emotional wrecks if they don't get their way. And, of course, they have a right to speak up and protest. Protest to what end? To simply reinforce their own psychological election and into a 4-year therapy session, I'd be rather upset.
So the response to the Trump election on college campuses from what you hear from your colleagues, National Association of Scholars includes people that are actual intellectuals, people that actually truly believe that the college campus is a free marketplace of ideas that produce substantive scholarship the way that it was conceived, higher education would provide. What is the sense? Is that the response to the election is not self-examination, but it's going to be a double down on the repressive environments that college campuses have become?
I'm getting calls and emails from a lot of my members that were trying to figure out how they could respond to this constructively. But so far, it seems like it's just this big emotional rally taking place, and people are standing down from it, just trying to get their distance. Every class has at least a few students who say they're too traumatized to take their next exam or turn their paper in on time. So it really is having a dire effect on the way teaching has been occurring since the election. It's not everywhere, but some departments, the economics department at Harvard, for example, canceled its midterm exams on this. We had just last Wednesday a nationwide organized walkout, not just from colleges, but it was extended into high schools around the country and grade schools. So masses of children went out on the streets for an hour of emotional protest. That's wrong in several ways, but one of them certainly is we're now devoting public resources to sponsoring political protest. I think the single worst instance I heard of it was Pomona College out in California, which actually paid students to attend an anti-Trump rally.
That is
other uses of resources are bad, but when you're actually paying students to protest, you're kind of crossed a red line.
Yeah, it's illegal.
When is this going to end, or is this just going to be exacerbated in the future by any small thing that happens?
Didn't quite catch that. Sorry.
When does
when's it
this
end?
Yeah, where does this end other than in the end of civilization?
Well, civilization will muddle through. I think where it ends is in exhaustion. We will have probably a few more weeks of this. It's so pointless that the students themselves will lose interest in it. You protest and hear yourself echoed for a while, and then you go on to something else. But where it really ends is that the campus left is trying to delegitimize Trump's election, and they want to have in place just a reflex reaction on the part of the students that whenever Trump does anything, they'll be able to turn on the insta-protest button.
That's the new immovable object versus irresistible force, the self-indulgence versus the short attention span. Those things are attention, right?
Very well put, yes. The attention span here will not sustain a movement of the current intensity, but they'll be able to turn it back on the moment that Trump does something that affects higher education.
All right. He is Peter Wood, president of National Association of Scholars, one of the last bastions of free substantive thinking, or at least the membership of. So maybe actually when you look at colleges where you're thinking about sending your kids are going, see who is on the roster over at NAS and who is on the campus your kid is going to attend. That may be a good start to find actual safe spaces for substantive thought. Peter Wood, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Okay, I found it. It was Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld. They took his picture off the wall. They were upset with him because of alleged torture, to detainees. That's the person who it was. Today, plenty of sunshine, a high of 41 degrees. Then tomorrow, Considerable cloudiness with a brief shower or two in the afternoon, a high of 45. Let's get those travel times. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. On the eastbound Adams Tollway, it's slow from the Tri-State to the River Road Toll. The delays continue to around Central Avenue on the Kennedy. 23 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 21, the Edens is fine. The Eisenhower. 40 minutes Thorndale to the post office. There is a crash at Cicero blocking a center lane. Stevenson looking at 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, it's 38. Make it 40 now. There's a crash at Harlem. A couple of vehicles with flat tires in both shoulders. Some debris in the area. Ryan, 22 minutes, 90-50 to downtown. I-57, 23 minutes. I-80 to the Marriage Bishop, 425. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
The website upstream-ideas.com. Premium content that adds value to this show, promotes this show with extended content that we can't always provide on this show just due to time constraints. Long-form interviews with luminaries like Colonel Alan West, Sebastian Gorka, Michelle Malkin, man on the street interviews, one recently done at Hamilton. That's particularly timely. Follow the Logic is that series. Commentaries, Illinois Rising podcasts, our Sunday show that covers state and local politics. It's all at upstream-ideas.com.
The following is an incredible, life-changing free offer for anyone with hearing problems who wants to start hearing everything more clearly again. We're now offering free in-home trials of a revolutionary hearing breakthrough called Listen Clear to anyone who calls this special toll-free number now, 1-800-900-5724. Call in the next 10 minutes and you'll also qualify for free shipping and free batteries for life. Listen Clear is precisely designed by top audio engineers. It adjusts to let you find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And Listen Clear is so invisible, people may not even know you're wearing it. And it's so lightweight, you may even forget you're wearing it too. Don't miss this special life-changing opportunity to hear everything more clearly again for free with a 100% free in-home trial, free shipping, and even free batteries for life. For free information, call now, 1-800-900-5724. That's 1-800-900-5724. 1-800-900-5724.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
Oh, I had my joints all ached. My sciatic nerve was really bad. Like 10 hours, my eyes were so tired and heavy and almost burning. And then when I woke up in the morning, there was this nagging pain. I mean, it hurt to open them. And just in a week, I don't have the nagging pain anymore. My joints stopped hurting, and I'm in wood season. I'm lugging wood right now, and I'm not hurting. So that's, amazing for me. I'm usually really suffering. It's pretty effective. And so now, like I said, my husband and I are both taking it, and he even said his joints aren't aching as much, and he's feeling better.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, I posted that notice at New Trier High School on my Twitter and Facebook at Dan Proft, and on Facebook if you want to go check it out and share with your friends to discuss how enlightened New Trier.
So those are signs in front of every select classrooms, right?
It was a sign that was seen at New Trier outside a homeroom. And just following off on our conversation with Peter Wood, National Association of Scholars president, SNL actually did a bit of a parody of the left and provided a place, after you graduate from New Trier and after you graduate from U of I, this is where you can go live in your
little bubble,
little liberal bubble.
The unthinkable has finally happened. Our nation, torn, broken. You could move to Canada, but you love your country. What can a person like you do?
What if there was a place where the unthinkable didn't happen and life could continue for progressive Americans just as before?
Now there is. Welcome to The Bubble. Coming in January 2017, The Bubble is a planned community of like-minded freethinkers and no one else.
So if you're an open-minded person, come here and close yourself in.
In here, it's like the election never happened.
While who knows what the hell is happening outside in their America, the bubble will be a fully functioning city-state.
With things everybody loves, like hybrid cars, used bookstores, and small farms with the rawest milk you've ever tasted.
That's more like it. Even though you're in the bubble, you'll still stay fully connected to the world outside.
We've streamlined our high-speed internet with only the good sites, like HuffPo, Daily Kos, Netflix documentaries about sushi rice, and the explosive comedy of McSweeney's.
Clever.
Need entertainment? The bubble has so much to do.
Go to a bar and engage with a wide array of diverse viewpoints.
100%.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
Totally.
Right?
The bubble is a diverse community and safe space for everyone. We don't see color here, but we celebrate it.
Yeah, so you get the
great.
picture.
That's awesome.
I would actually support devoting taxpayer dollars to put all the progressives in a bubble. That bubble that SNL conceived. Dave and Racine, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Greetings and salutations.
Hello.
Just wondering if maybe these anxiety over imprisoning people by leftists is, them projecting their own viewpoints, because remember how academics, politicians, and entertainers have called for the imprisoning or denial of constitutional rights for people who deny man-made global warming?
Yes, they're totalitarians. Thanks for the call, Dave. Holly in Hudson.
You know what this is? This is the participation trophy generation. These are the kids who have never lost. They cannot deal with a loss. They have been taught that they are all winners and they will win always. Case in point, the student body president, my son's school, got on the intercom the day after the election, said the F word 3 times, F Trump, F Trump, F Trump, F all you white people. And she is still the student body president because she had hurt feelings and emotions were raw, and we just have to be very understanding and sensitive to her emotions. And so I say to myself, this is terrific, because these are so many fewer kids than my kids who know you win and lose, who know you have to go to work, who know you have to work hard, do your job. They don't have to worry about competing with any of these crybabies in their life beyond college.
Thanks, Holly.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Have you put off seeing the dentist because you can't afford to go? Are big dental bills taking a big toll on your wallet? Would you like to have dental insurance but think it's too expensive? If you answered yes to any of these questions, call Physicians Mutual Insurance Company for a free information kit. See how you can help protect your teeth and your wallet for less than $1 a day. 1-800-900-9385. This is real dental insurance that can help cover over 350 procedures, all the ones you're most likely to need. Everything from cleanings and fillings to crowns and dentures. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired or on Medicare. You can see any dentist you choose, and you'll never pay a deductible. Call in the next 10 minutes, and we'll rush you a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-900-9385. That's 1-800-900-9385. 1-800-900-9385.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to former U.S. Attorney Fred Foreman about the real Jeff Sessions at 6:36.
But first, let's go back into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, Texas Governor Rick Perry on the docket, scheduled to meet with Donald Trump today as the president-elect moves forward in transition meetings. President Obama asking everyone to take a wait-and-see attitude toward a Donald Trump presidency. In his last presidential news conference on foreign soil, the president saying we certainly cannot jump to any assumptions.
You can't assume that the language of campaigning matches up with the specifics of governing legislation, regulations, and foreign policy.
The president noting that Trump has not had a full opportunity to put together a team. Investigators are looking into 4 separate shootings of police officers around the country yesterday, including one that claimed the life of a police officer in San Antonio. Chief William McManus reacted to the death of Detective Benjamin Marconi.
After shooting Detective Marconi,
The suspect walked back to his vehicle and drove into the south parking lot of headquarters, ultimately exiting on the west side of the building.
Marconi was shot in the head twice behind the wheel before the suspect fled. 4 children are dead after an early morning house fire in the small northern Indiana town. Firefighters say the children and a woman were caught in the blaze of a home that caught fire in Flora. That's about 30 minutes east of Purdue University in West Lafayette. The woman was injured. Fire investigators also say a medical helicopter took 2 police officers to a hospital for treatment. There's no word on how badly the woman or the officers are injured or on what caused that fire. O'Hare International Airport workers who voted to go out on strike will soon announce a plan when they will take action. Service employees union members will announce around 10 a.m. today the date of their strike. A judge denies bail to 2 teenagers who are charged with first-degree murder in the shooting death of a Chicago congressman's 15-year-old grandson. 16-year-old boy, 17-year-old girl appeared before a Cook County judge Sunday afternoon. They were there in response to the death of U.S. Representative Danny Davis's grandson's killing, the judge calling it a total, callous disregard for human life. A man is charged with criminal trespass this morning after police say he disrupted a performance of Hamilton over the weekend in downtown Chicago. John Palmer was arrested following the Saturday night incident at Private Bank Theater. One audience member telling local reporters the suspect used obscenities and shouted, "Our side won," in reference to a Donald Trump election victory. That situation followed a Friday performance of Hamilton in New York City when a cast member addressed Vice President-elect Mike Pence, who was in attendance. Bears lost to the Giants Sunday. NBA, the Bulls winners over the Lakers. There's hockey tonight on the ice. The Blackhawks are at Edmonton. The news, a service of Hum by Verizon. Hum by Verizon is the technology designed to make your car smarter, safer, and more connected. It's easy. Just plug it in, and you'll get vehicle diagnostics, emergency assistance, vehicle location, and more. Get some peace of mind and a smarter, safer, more connected car at hum.com now. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager believes we were on the verge of disaster.
The shellacking has just been awesome. It is a rejection. I don't say it's permanent. The country was at a precipice. Had she won, I would not have this smile on my face. It would have been perhaps irreparable, the damage that the left has done, as it does everywhere. Look at Western Europe.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Remodel your kitchen with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet and get one free with free financing and design services. Call 773-783-8300.
The following is an incredible, life-changing free offer for anyone with hearing problems who wants to start hearing everything more clearly again. We're now offering free in-home trials of a revolutionary hearing breakthrough called Listen Clear to anyone who calls this special toll-free number now. 1-800-900-5724. Call in the next 10 minutes and you'll also qualify for free shipping and free batteries for life. Listen Clear is precisely designed by top audio engineers. It adjusts to let you find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And Listen Clear is so invisible, people may not even know you're wearing it. And it's so lightweight, you may even forget you're wearing it too. Don't miss this special life-changing opportunity to hear everything more clearly again for free with a 100% free in-home trial, free shipping, and even free batteries for life. For free information, call now. 1-800-900-5724. That's 1-800-900-5724. 1-800-900-5724.
It is 6:37. Let's get an update on the roads. AM 560 Traffic Center time. Here's Jim.
Mike on the inbound Edens. Delay start around Dempster. It's 25 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound fine at 19. The Kennedy, 30 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound, just 21. The Eisenhower, 41 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound, 30. Stevenson is 42 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 45. Crash at Central in the right lane. Ryan is 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, Slow 95th to 87th. Archer to LaGrange Road, and the Reagan Silva to North Avenue. Traffic service of Hum by Verizon. Hum by Verizon is the technology designed to make your car smarter, safer, and more connected. It's easy. Just plug it in. You'll get vehicle diagnostics, emergency assistance, a vehicle location, and more. Get some peace of mind and a smarter, safer, more connected car. Visit hum.com now. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast comes to us from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Plenty of sunshine today, high near 41. Clouds on the increase in the early overnight, a low of 25, and a brief shower tomorrow, high 45. 24 at O'Hare, 31 along the lakefront. It is 18 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, Senator Pocahontas and some of her left-wing pals took out after Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions on Friday after his nomination to be Trump's attorney general was announced. They said they're going to fight the nomination. They're not really. He'll be the attorney general, but they're going to try and exact a price in the interim and sharpen their knives for the real fight, which will be over Trump's Supreme Court nominee. But Jeff Sessions doesn't deserve to have his record recast just to kind of satisfy the insatiable race-baiting monster that is the left. This was somebody who spearheaded the effort to have Rosa Parks receive the Congressional Gold Medal. This is somebody who campaigned against George Wallace as a young man. This is somebody who, as U.S. Attorney, filed briefs to desegregate schools. This is somebody who prosecuted a Klan member who murdered a black teenager. And that's the real Jeff Sessions record. And then there's one former colleague that makes accusations against him, and that's supposed to be taken as gospel, and we're supposed to dismiss all the substantive work he's actually done, in addition to voting to confirm President Obama's choice for Attorney General Eric Holder in his first term as well. Well, for more on this, kind of another collegial review, somebody who knows Jeff Sessions, he is our friend Fred Foreman. He's former U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Illinois and also the Chief Judge in Lake County, formerly. And he joins us now. Fred, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Dan and Amy.
So tell us what your experience is with Jeff Sessions and what kind of man and professional prosecutor he was, per your relationship.
Well, I knew Jeff fairly well because he had served in the Reagan and the Bush administration. I served in the first Bush administration, and the U.S. attorneys meet quite often on a national basis, but I had the opportunity to get to know Jeff a little bit better because he would invite me down to speak to his law enforcement coordinating committee in Alabama. And I think one thing that people must remember that he went through Senate confirmation also after his Supreme Court hearings for the Bush administration and then faced the voters of Alabama when he ran for Attorney General. So he's been vetted quite a few times.
So what's the left's point of contention against Jeff Sessions as our Attorney General?
Well, I think that, number one, he would be serving as President-elect Trump's lawyer, and I think that they're concerned about one of the most important topics facing the country right now is immigration and law enforcement, and also I think they're concerned, many of the Republicans are concerned about putting someone in that's going to enforce the rule of law. So that doesn't sit well with a lot of people.
What about Sessions' independence? One of the criticisms, certainly, that I've leveled against Obama's justice is how politicized it had become. And, of course, unbelievably inappropriate events like Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton, their infamous meeting on the plane while Bill Clinton's wife is under federal investigation, federal criminal investigation, how inappropriate that was. Jeff Sessions in terms of being independent. So, for example, the decision ultimately on what to do with Hillary Clinton to appoint a special prosecutor, as Trump initially suggested he would do in a debate, now maybe has walked that back, or pursue some other sort of investigatory action against Hillary Clinton. Do you see Jeff Sessions as making independent decisions based on the law, or kind of taking his cues from the Oval Office?
Well, I think that if Jeff Sessions is the Attorney General, he's going to assemble a staff of outstanding supervisors and confidants within the Justice Department. One thing about the Justice Department and the FBI is when administrations change, a lot of the career people are there. But he'll have his work cut out for him. He's going to be the president's advisor on such law enforcement issues and on national security issues, and he's going to have to set himself above the politics of the office, and he's going to have to make some tough decisions. And I think through his experience in watching these attorney generals perform and having worked for different attorney generals, he understands how important it is not to allow partisan politics to enter in.
Do you think that he'll assign a special prosecutor to look into Hillary Clinton's emails and her server?
I think that it's going to be given a lot of thought because of the fact now with regard to the server, there's some of the opinion that issue has been resolved by FBI Director Comey, but it's still a little fuzzy about the Clinton Foundation. I don't know that has been totally put to rest, and it looks like they're probably going to continue the congressional hearings. So I assume that they'll take another look at it and decide which way they're going to go after they take office. But there hasn't been a lot of special prosecutors appointed lately because of some of the concerns of control of the special prosecutor.
What about Jim Comey's fate? If you were being advanced to be United States Attorney General, would you be discussing with the president Jim Comey's continuation as the FBI director, perhaps the need to ask for his resignation and provide new leadership at FBI?
I think that he'll definitely, as the Attorney General, will carry out the policy of the administration with regard to law enforcement on a nationwide basis, and obviously the director of the FBI plays an important role. I don't think it'll be a decision that's not made without a lot of input from people around. I'm sure that Senator Sessions knows Director Comey very well. Since Director Comey's been in government a long time, he's going to sit down with him and he's going to ask him if he believes that he can continue in that role. And I think that all that will be weighed and balanced in favor of what's the best thing to do for the administration and the country.
As it pertains to the appointment of U.S. attorneys, how is that going to work in Illinois? Let's talk Illinois specifically for a minute. You have experience in this process. Since we have a Republican administration and we have two Democrat United States senators, how does that process play itself out with appointments for federal prosecutors here?
Well, it's very similar to the situation that took place in 1988 and that time where Senator Dixon and Senator Simon were both Democrats, and we didn't have a Republican senator in Illinois. The House Minority Leader, Robert Michel from Peoria, convened all the Republican congressmen to review the nominations for U.S. Attorney and for federal judge and marshal. Each applicant or potential nominee would meet with that group. They would sit in a circle. You walked in, there was the empty chair, and the congressman would ask you questions, and then if Senator or Congressman Michel decided you were going to be the choice, they would get input from various other individuals in the state government, and you would have your name forwarded for the background investigation.
So that's going to be Paul Ryan's job in conjunction with the Republican caucus from Illinois?
No. I would think that it would fall to the senior congressman in the state of Illinois, or if they decide to split it up amongst the three districts, the senior congressman in each district would take the applications in. There would be a screening committee. I currently serve on the federal judge selection committee for Senator Kirk, so I would assume that in each district they'll have a committee that will screen the applicants and make a recommendation to either the congressman or under President Obama, Senator Kirk had input, at least on some of the federal judges himself.
So for the Northern District, which is Chicago, which is really important because this is where most of the criminality occurs and the political corruption, you're talking about Congressman Peter Roskam potentially having significant influence on an appointment for that post.
That sounds like it would be the process. And then if you went to the Central District and Southern District of Illinois, similar process. But I don't know that that's been decided yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. He is Fred Foreman, former Lake County Chief Judge, a former U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Illinois. Fred, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
And Congressman Peter Roskam will join us at 8:38, so we can ask him about that then. Coming up next, a Gold Star family allegedly booed on a flight. It will tear your heart apart. But first, here's your forecast. Plenty of sunshine today, a high of 41 degrees. And then tomorrow, considerable cloudiness with a brief shower or two in the afternoon, a high of 45. Let's get the travel times with our good buddy. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thank you, Amy. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. And things are picking up now. The Edens has inbound delays starting around Dempster. It's 28 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound, though, just 20. The Kennedy, 31 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound, 25. The Eisenhower, 43 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. There's a crash in Harlem on the left side. Outbound, it's 38 minutes. Stevenson, 48 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound an hour. At Harlem Avenue, they've just cleared a crash. There was a lot of debris, so it's really packed solid from Demon to Harlem. To Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State. Slow 95th to LaGrange Road. From the Stevenson to 47th, then really slow from the Reagan Tollway to Grand Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway, slow Roselle to Meacham. The other tollways are still okay. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The president of Peru takes aim at protectionism. Another major Fiat Chrysler recall. Those stories are next.
Bill Bennett here to tell you about Augusta Precious Metals. Attention investors, your IRA or your 401k may be at risk again. The 2008 crash wiped out up to 50% of IRAs and 401ks. Can you afford to lose again? What if you could store IRA or 401k savings where you can see, touch, and hold it in your hands? With the Augusta Gold or Silver IRA, you transfer a portion of retirement savings into physical coins you can actually see and get fast in case of any disaster. Call Augusta Precious Metals today for a free gold and silver IRA guide. No obligation. Augusta Precious Metals, A-plus Better Business Bureau rating, 98% 5-star customer satisfaction rating with TrustLink.org. Trust Augusta. Call Augusta Precious Metals today at 1-855-222-6993. That's 1-855-222-6993. One more time, 1-855-222-6993.
Peru's president says the U.S. presidential election and the Brexit vote in Great Britain are threats to global free trade. He spoke at this weekend's Asian Pacific Trade Summit. Stanley Fischer, vice chairman of the Federal Reserve, discussing monetary policy and inflation rates when he addresses the Council on Foreign Relations in New York City. Fiat Chrysler announcing it's recalling 89,000 cars and SUVs to fix fuel leaks and other problems. Most of the impact will be on owners of 35,000 Dodge Durango and Jeep Grand Cherokee SUVs from the 2016 model year. Fantasy sports rivals DraftKings and FanDuel are now merging. The so-called fantasy sites are under scrutiny as possibly promoting illegal sports wagering. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
People who can afford a LASIK procedure sure are lucky. Imagine being able to throw away your contacts and glasses. Imagine waking up tomorrow with 20/20 vision. Too bad everyone can't afford LASIK. Well, guess what? There's a company that agrees with you. TLC Laser Eye Centers is now offering great prices on high-quality LASIK to make it affordable for everyone. That means you get the latest FDA-approved all-laser LASIK technology for less than what others charge. And if you call right now, we'll schedule a free appointment so you can discover if LASIK is right for you. Results may vary. Call 1-800-300-3992. Even better, if you're one of the first 100 callers, ask about an extra $400 off your all-laser LASIK procedure. That's $200 off per eye. We've already performed over 2 million procedures. Let us help you. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you deserve for less than what others charge. For your free appointment, call 1-800-300-3992. 1-800-300-3992.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so this was a disturbing story.
It just breaks my heart.
Father of a soldier appointed when airline passengers booed him and his family as they flew to meet his son's remains. No joke.
Yeah, I mean, all right, so here's the deal. They were traveling from Sacramento to Philadelphia, but they had to stop in Phoenix and had to change planes, and their plane was delayed. So the captain asked everybody to remain seated, please, so this special military family, that's how he labeled them, can disembark, can get off the plane first. And what did they do, Dan?
According to the father, some people were saying, this is just baloney, and, quote, I paid first class for this, unquote. He did say American Airlines did everything they could to accommodate his family. He was appreciative of that. He just said it was disgusting behavior from people in first class. What else is new? It was terrible to see. You could see the disappointment from the flight crew. Now, as you point out, did all they announced special military family to exit the aircraft, and then the caterwauling began. So the people didn't know that this was a Gold Star family, but you know what? They don't need to know. Let me tell you something. If they say a special military family needs to get off the plane first, then shut your mouth and let that special military family get off the plane first and thank them as they exit the plane, you ingrates.
Well, Sergeant Perry, Stuart Perry, the father, he went on to explain how it just opened up the wound.
To hear the reaction of the flight being delayed because of a Gold Star family and the first class cabin booing that was really upsetting. And it made us cry some more.
I mean, what is wrong with people? If I was in first class and I heard somebody booing, I would grab them and tell them to shut up and sit down and have some respect.
Yeah, it's the state of affairs in our culture. These are all cultural issues that nobody wants to talk about. His son, Sergeant John Perry, by the way.
They're from Illinois.
His colleague, Sergeant Perry, and his private first class Tyler Ubelt, who is of Tamaroa, Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they were killed in that suicide bombing on November 12th.
Right. That's right. But Mr. Perry said of his son, he made a decision that saved a lot of people. I was told that he was found protecting a female soldier. Didn't get to live a full life, but he lived.
And people boo his family because they were delayed, maybe 5 or 10 minutes.
These are disgraceful times we're living in.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Many of you own or manage growing companies, and you know that your entire business depends on your phones. If your phone service provider struggles to deliver your calls, it can mean lost revenue. That's often the case with an outdated phone system. The solution? Well, it's a company that we use here at AM 560, Innovative Networks. They excel at providing innovative solutions to reinforce your company's phone infrastructure and enhance call flow. We truly appreciate how comprehensive, diligent, and cost-effective Innovative Networks was in providing solutions that scale as our business expands. Innovative Networks can even replace your outdated phone system at no cost and provide hands-on training to maximize your capabilities. You'll save money and be more focused on growing your business. Here at AM 560, we're thrilled with Innovative Networks, so follow our lead and call Innovative Networks at 312-453-7777. They're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. Call 312-453-7777 or visit go4inet.com. That's go, the number 4, I-N-E-T, phonehome.com.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, if you're one of the first 100 callers, you can try Transcend risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-3585. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. But don't delay. To guarantee your 10-night in-home trial, you must be one of the first 100 callers to call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-3585. Again, that's 1-800-600-3585.
People who can afford a LASIK procedure sure are lucky. Imagine being able to throw away your contacts and glasses. Imagine waking up tomorrow with 20/20 vision. Too bad everyone can't afford LASIK. Well, guess what? There's a company that agrees with you. TLC Laser Eye Centers is now offering great prices on high-quality LASIK to make it affordable for everyone. That means you get the latest FDA-approved all-laser LASIK technology for less than what others charge. And if you call right now, we'll schedule a free appointment so you can discover if LASIK is right for you. Results may vary. Call 1-800-300-3992. Even better, if you're one of the first 100 callers, ask about an extra $400 off your all-laser LASIK procedure. That's $200 off per eye. We've already performed over 2 million procedures. Let us help you. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you deserve for less than what others charge. For your free appointment, call 1-800-300-3992. 1-800-300-3992.
Want to read that text message?
What text message?
Oh, about they should release the names of all those first-class passengers on American Airlines?
The caller suggested that. Yeah, that if the father could identify them, post those names. You want to hear some booing, do you, first-class passengers?
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Where are the white women at? Asks a Chicago Tribune op-ed writer at 7:07.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
5 firefighters from the city of Chicago taken to hospitals. They reported feeling ill after working to extinguish an earlier fire. 4 children are dead after an early morning house fire in a small town in northern Indiana. And could there be a strike soon at O'Hare? WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. It happened 4 times in less than 24 hours. Police shot in the line of duty.
This tells you how dangerous of a job it is and tells you how much we have to appreciate our police officers.
St. Louis Mayor Francis Slay hopeful the other officer will survive. One didn't in Texas. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has details live on both.
Well, San Antonio Detective Benjamin Marconi was writing a ticket in his squad car outside police headquarters when he was shot to death late Sunday morning. The search for the shooter still underway. Now, last night around 7:30 in St. Louis, Missouri, a sergeant was shot twice as he sat in traffic in his marked police cruiser. The person responsible was killed in a shootout with police. St. Louis Police Chief Sam Dotson says the suspect was wanted for other crimes.
We think that this individual and this individual's friends are responsible for several of the crimes that have occurred in this neighborhood.
Now, the St. Louis officer is in critical condition but is expected to survive, Dave.
Studying the 2 other shootings last night, both officers survived, shot at traffic stops, one in Gladstone, Missouri, the other in Sanibel, Florida. The suspected gunmen are in custody. Who will Donald Trump pick next for his administration?
We have some really incredible people going to be working for the country.
That was last night after he wrapped up a weekend of meetings.
Mr. Trump met with more than 20 people that he's considering possibly for his cabinet or for senior advisor roles or other advisor roles. Saturday, he met with one of the leaders of the Never Trump movement, a man who once called him a fraud, Mitt Romney, and now he's being considered for Secretary of State.
Fox's Kristen Fisher.
Today, the president-elect is set to meet with someone who once called him a cancer on conservatism, the former governor of Texas, Rick Perry.
There were more Trump jokes and political statements at last night's American Music Awards on ABC, including this Melania Trump impersonation.
I love my husband, President Barack Obama.
Gigi Hadid got some backlash on social media for that. Ariana Grande won the big award, Artist of the Year. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
24 degrees, 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 4 are dead after an early morning house fire in a small town in northern Indiana. The children and a woman were inside a home that caught fire in Flora. It's about 30 minutes east of West Lafayette near Purdue University. The woman was hurt. Fire investigators say a medical helicopter not only choppered out her, but 2 other police officers for treatment as well. 5 Chicago firefighters have been hospitalized after reportedly feeling ill after working to extinguish an earlier blaze. Fire department says the firefighters had actually returned to engine 26 when they reported feeling ill and were listed in fair to serious condition this morning at 3 different hospitals. O'Hare Airport workers who voted to strike will soon announce when they plan to take their action. SEIU Local 1 officials say they will announce that strike date around 10 a.m. this morning at the airport. About 500 workers committed to a strike after a vote Thursday. The workers are seeking union rights and a $15 an hour wage. They mainly work for private contractors. A judge denies bail to 2 teenagers charged with first-degree murder in the shooting death of a Chicago congressman's 15-year-old grandson. Cook County judge called the killing of Representative Danny Davis's grandson a callous disregard for human life. Danny Davis says he had advised his grandson to stay indoors after dark, but it wasn't enough to save his life.
He was in the house, at home, minding his own business, and some intruders would come and snuff his life away.
Police say Javon Wilson was shot Friday following an argument over basketball shoes. Chicago Alderman Howard Brookins recovering after following a freak bicycle accident. The Southside official posting on Facebook he's not going to be able to attend any ward or neighborhood events in the near future after requiring multiple surgeries to recover from damage to his face and upper body. Giants over the Bears, 22-16. NBA, Jimmy Butler 40 in the Bulls win over the Lakers, 118-110. DePaul down Wisconsin-Milwaukee, 77-59. The news service of Accountemps. Accounting and finance salaries are on the rise in more than in 2017, so get an in-depth salary forecast for more than 400 accounting and finance roles in your area by visiting them at Accountemps.com. Accountemps is a Robert Half company. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity believes Donald Trump will be successful if he does what he said.
He will be a successful president, enormously successful. If he remembers that this election is about the forgotten man, the people that have been left behind and screwed over by corruption in Washington, D.C., he will be a successful president.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hiring people is probably the worst part of my job.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. One click and my job was posted to 100+ job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 100+ job sites. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/expand. That's ZipRecruiter.com/expand.
I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Recently, mortgage rates have dropped to the second lowest level in history. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is all the way down to 3.5%, APR 3.57%. It's a great time to refinance with Quicken Loans and save hundreds every month. So lock in this ultra-low rate before it goes back up. Call 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
It is 7:06. Let's get a check of the roads in our AM 560 traffic center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. And there's a big jam on the outbound Stevenson from Damon to Harlem, where a crash and debris have cleared from that area. It is an hour and 6 minutes from Lakeshore Drive to 355. Inbound, it's 46 minutes, low First Avenue to Kedzie. Eden's 31 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 21. The Kennedy, now 40 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 17 from Montrose, 12 in the Express. Outbound 25 to the airport. The Eisenhower, 56 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. 41 from Manheim. Outbound 38 to Thorndale. The Ryan, 25 minutes from 95th to the Loop. Northbound Tri-State, slow 95th to LaGrange Road. From the Stevenson to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Grand Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway slow, Roselle to Meacham. Reagan Tollway fine. Veterans Memorial, stop and go 75th to Maple with a crash on the right shoulder. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Sunshine today with a high of 41. Tonight clear, then clouds increase, low 25. For tomorrow, cloudy with a brief shower or two in the afternoon and occasional rain and drizzle at night. High tomorrow 45 and a low of 36. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
24 degrees at O'Hare. It's 29 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Ayn Rand Institute and the Yaron Brook Show. Heard Saturday afternoons at 4 here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Monday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
We, sir, we are the diverse America who are alarmed and anxious that your new administration will not protect us. Our planet.
I can tell you, I wasn't offended by what was said. I'll leave to others whether that was the appropriate venue to say it.
Very thorough and in-depth discussion in the time we had, and appreciate the chance to speak with the president-elect.
I don't know this Mike Flynn, but that Mike Flynn is a serious, intelligent guy.
Qualified to be National Security Advisor, the old Mike Flynn?
The old Mike Flynn, definitely. I just don't know the new Mike Flynn.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, you know, the left, in terms of their reactions so far, a couple weeks after the election, the Democrat Party at the national level reminds me very much of what the Illinois Republican Party has been over the past 20 years here. Now, that's changing a little bit, but the comparison is this. No election results chasing them. They double and triple down on what they were doing that put them in this position in the first place. So the Democrats, thanks to President Obama and Hillary Clinton, deserve some credit too, are now a coastal party plus Illinois, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, plus 45 in the House, plus 4 in the Senate, president, 33 governors, 2/3 of the governors, and 2/3 of state legislatures controlled by Republicans. That is substantial. In fact, there hasn't been this much Republican control of federal and state and local government
Since the 80s, right? Since Reagan?
no, more like since 80 years ago.
Oh, or that.
I mean, it is fairly sweeping. And what is the Democrat response? Is there some thoughtful reflection on the choices they're making and maybe the diminishing marginal returns to bigot baiting? In some circles, sort of. Nicholas Kristof at the New York Times and Jon Stewart. There's a couple of voices suggesting some reflection, what they're not doing. But by and large, it's more like what Toni Morrison, Oprah's favorite author, Toni Morrison, had to say. The author of Beloved, I'm sure you've read.
Read it, and then I saw the movie.
Oh, gosh, sure.
I'll put a copy of the book on your desk.
I've read it.
Oh, you have? Good.
I have. I like to know thine enemy. Toni Morrison, writing in The New Yorker, Mourning for Whiteness. She writes this. In order to limit the possibility of untenable change, meaning a black president and a multi-ethnic society, in order to limit the possibility of this untenable change and restore whiteness to its former status as a marker of national identity, a number of white Americans are sacrificing themselves. They've begun to do things they clearly don't really want to be doing, and to do so they are abandoning their sense of human dignity and risking the appearance of cowardice. Much as they may hate their behavior and know full well how craven it is, they are willing to kill small children attending Sunday school and slaughter churchgoers who invite a white boy to pray. We're all Dylan Roof, is what she's saying there. Embarrassing as the obvious display of cowardice must be, they are willing to set fire to churches and to start firing in them while the members are at prayer. And as shameful as such demonstrations of weakness are, they are willing to shoot black children in the street. To keep the perception of white superiority, these white Americans tuck their heads under cone-shaped hats and American flags, so being a member of the KKK and waving the American flag, same thing, and deny themselves the dignity of face-to-face confrontation, training their guns on the unarmed, the innocent, the scared, on subjects who are running away, exposing their unthreatening backs to bullets. That means police officers. Surely shooting a fleeing man in the back hurts the presumption of white strength. These sacrifices made by supposedly tough white men who are prepared to abandon their humanity out of fear of black men and women suggest the true horror of lost status. It may be hard to feel pity for the men who are making these bizarre sacrifices in the name of white power and supremacy. Personal debasement is not easy for white people, especially for white men, but to retain the conviction of their superiority to others, especially to black people, they are willing to risk contempt and to be reviled by the mature, sophisticated, and the strong. If it weren't so ignorant and pitiful, one could mourn this collapse of dignity and service to an evil cause. Does that pretty much describe you, white Americans, white Trump voters? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 646-36DA, turnkey.pro. Text line. I'd like to hear why, according to Toni Morrison, you have tucked your heads under cone-shaped hats and American flags and denied the dignity of face-to-face confrontation to shoot the innocent, the scared, and those running away. That's what she said. That's what she wrote.
Well, when you're grieving and you're scared, you do things out of character, maybe, and that's why she feels that way and decided to write that article. I mean, I can't make sense of it. I mean, these people, a lot of Democrats are still grieving and not handling this well. And my friends who said, no, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton is not in the White House because men can't vote for a female president. When it turns out that it was white women who chose to vote for Trump. 53% voted for Donald Trump.
Where are the white women at, asks this op-ed writer in the Chicago Tribune. Her name is...
This is the one that I sent to my friend, by the way.
Deline Glanton.
Mm-hmm.
This is... I challenge you to find a more comedic piece of election analysis than this screed from some woman named Deline Glanton in the Tribune over the weekend. White women own up to it. You're the reason Hillary Clinton lost. I don't understand white women, she writes. 53%, as you mentioned, Amy, of you chose an indisputably unqualified man for a job over a woman who could run circles around him. Everyone else did their part. She means minorities. You didn't do yours. As far as black women are concerned, you can be sure of this. We're going to think long and hard the next time white women ask us to follow them up the ladder so they can leave us out on a ledge. So the prospect that women would have differing opinions on policy issues and, by extension, candidates for high office, this is a foreign concept to Miss Glanton.
Right. Well, everybody keeps thinking that, white women, uneducated, but 45% of those women who voted for Donald Trump hold college degrees.
Right. And so I would like to hear from white women. So I'd like to hear from all the white male Trump voters. And by that, I mean white supremacists, members of the Klan. And I'd like to hear from the white women, female voters, particularly those with a college degree, because I'd like to hear from those people that hate black women and abandon them by voting for Donald Trump. And this continues. Jill Filipovic, writing in the Washington Post over the weekend. I'm a feminist writer. I'm inundated with sexual harassment and political ugliness more or less constantly. I doubt that. I know that the history of women's progress in the U.S. has been uneven and often marked with big setbacks, just as we were on the precipice of real change. This, though, I did not predict. I'm writing from my current and I assumed temporary home in Nairobi. Oh, brother. But now I wonder whether the United States, the one that just elected Donald Trump, is the one to which I want to return. It sounds melodramatic, but what a clear statement of what so many of my countrymen value: white male supremacy above all, especially over female ambition, intelligence, and basic competence. So then again, now, I mean, just, we're trying to hear from everybody. I want to hear from all of the white supremacists, particularly the men. I want to hear from the white female sellouts who hate black women. I want to hear from everybody, according to Toni Morrison, who is tucking their head under a cone-shaped hat and an American flag to deny dignity to fellow human beings. I'd like to hear from you all. You know who you are. You're Trump voters. So please weigh in. And, we'll accept apologies. Acts of contrition, suggestions of acts of contrition, whatever you have to offer to redress the grievances lodged by these deep thinkers, Toni Morrison, Deline Glanton, Jill Filipovic, writing in some of our nation's most preeminent outlets. Steve in Mount Prospect, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan and Amy, I just want to say that I kind of am sick and tired of race being interjected into just every other sentence, and I'd love to just write a letter to Toni Morrison and ask her statistically who is committing all of the most of the gun violence, the gang violence, the drugs, and everything else. It's all minorities, and in particularly the black race.
Steve, I accept your apology. Thank you for calling in. We'll pass that along to Toni Morrison. Kurt in Brookfield, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You know, as someone who served in the military and law enforcement for over 33 years, I find those type of accusations just the most disgusting and filthy thing. But who I find even worse for is for our fine African-American police officers, fellow soldiers that I have served with, for them to spout the crap that they spout. I was with a African-American Navy SEAL who was a Trump supporter, and he was just so happy to find a president that he knows going to back what we believe in and what we fight for and what we defend in this country. And to have these people just spew this hate, they're the ones trying to create the hate monger.
Thank you for the call, Kurt. I will extend your apology to Deleen Glanton. I want to distribute the apologies across all of these thinkers. Oh, a related note. Did you see this? Billboard on Highway 80 in Pearl, Mississippi.
Yeah, I saw that.
Make America Great Again is the slogan, and it depicts Bloody Sunday, the day in 1965 where police and protesters faced off over voting rights in Selma. So the picture is of police, guns drawn, in uniform, confronting dignified black men and women, you know, in Sunday dress that were protesting for their voting rights.
Who's behind that billboard?
It's just a group called For Freedoms, FOR Freedoms, and
well, that's a little aggressive, don't you think?
Oh, do you think so? Do you think so?
Well, that doesn't help the Republican Party. That doesn't help Donald Trump.
It actually, I think it doesn't help the left. And I think all of these...
How could you look at that and think that doesn't help the left?
Because you're hysterical and you're comparing things that don't bear comparison to one another. You think Donald Trump wants to go back to Jim Crow? That's what this billboard is saying.
No, but some people, I think that. And then you put up a billboard like that?
The people who think that are people like Deleen Glanton, Toni Morrison, and Jill Filipovic, who you can't get to anyway. Do you think independent-minded people think that Donald Trump is, 1960s George Wallace? He's Orville Faubus. He's a Jim Crow segregationist. Do people really believe that?
Yes.
Yeah.
They do.
Left-wing lunatics in your circle who are impervious to evidence. Yeah, that's who believes it. 45.
I don't like the billboard. I think it's
of course
cites racism, and it just perpetuates a stereotype that Republicans are racist or that Donald Trump is.
Well, this is the bigot baiting. This is all that the left has. But
so it's a leftist group that put that billboard up?
No, it's the Heritage Foundation. Yeah, of course it's a leftist group. The point is, this is all they have, and I want to see them expose themselves. I love the column from Toni Morrison that everybody who voted for Trump is a KKK member, and every cop is executing black men. I love the column from Jill Filipovic and Deleen Glanton. I love it that all women, you have to think with one mind, and any woman who voted for Donald Trump sold out black women. Any women who voted for Donald Trump is complicit with white male supremacy. Please continue talking. You can't do a better job pushing people over to to supporting free minds and free markets and a free society than I can. You are much better spokesman to push people in the middle, even center-left leaners who have an independent thought on occasion, over to our way of thinking than I can. So please keep pinning those op-eds. I love it. Raj in Milwaukee, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hello.
Hey, Raj.
Yeah. Hey, I was trying to convey that, Trump won not because of white supremacy or anything. It's because of the corruption we have witnessed over the last 8 years and even before the war, mongering. And, I'm not a white, but I'm a immigrant and I'm a U.S. citizen, legal U.S. citizen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm educated and, so I can see it's slowly becoming a rich banana republic. And, there is a lot of racial, tensions increased over the period. But it's not because, of white supremacy. It's purely because the way, whoever is in power try to misuse and make use of the minorities in this country. That's what I see.
Yeah.
And I was a strong supporter of, Hillary Clinton in 2008, and later, I started seeing the hope and change being, screwed up over and over with Obama. So, I finally thought, this is not good, and the Middle East chaos and the war and Libya and whatnot. So that's what changed my mind, in this election. Anybody but Clintons. That's the motto.
Thanks for the call, Raj. I appreciate that. Vladimir on the northwest side. Vladimir.
Hey, Jan and Amy, how are you today?
Good.
Good.
So the interesting point that I was just watching that Dinesh D'Souza, Hillary Clinton in 2016, the KKK was founded by Democrats.
Yeah.
So isn't it a little anti-history to say that Republicans are the ones walking around with cone-shaped hats?
Yeah, thanks for the call, Vladimir. But remember, the word of the year in 2016, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is post-truth. So we live in a post-truth era where we don't recall Robert Byrd as a Kleagle and then as a lionized Democrat senator from West Virginia for 40 years. We don't remember that it's Democrats who primarily voted against the Voting Rights Act of 64. We don't remember that it was Democrats and Dixiecrats that founded the KKK. We don't remember these things. Rich in Lowell, Indiana.
Butch from Lowell, Indiana.
Hey, how are you? Go ahead.
I'm good. I'm Butch. I'm a recovering Democrat, member of Democrats Anonymous. I joined that group in 2008 because I couldn't stand what was going on in this country. I can't minute that these individuals that are out there saying that they turn their backs on black women. Let's turn back racial equality back to the days of Johnson signing the Civil Rights Act. This is ridiculous. It's gotten to the point where the average American looks at this today and says, this is why I voted for Donald Trump. And that's all I've got to say.
Thanks for the call, Butch. Toni Morrison does not accept that apology.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Plenty of sunshine today, a high of 41 degrees. Then tomorrow it gets a little nasty around here. Considerable cloudiness is a brief shower or two. And on Wednesday, more of the same on and off rain and drizzle, a high of 47. Let's get those travel times and say good morning to Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Northbound Veterans Memorial, 355 at stop and go from Boughton to Maple, where there's a crash on the right side. And we're seeing scattered delays on the northbound tri-state in pockets, 95th to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to Grand Avenue, it's very heavy. Eden's inbound, 31 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 25. The inbound Kennedy is 40 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 30. Inbound Eisenhower, 56 minutes from Thorndale to the post office. Outbound, 39 minutes. Stevenson, 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound an hour after a crash near Harlem. Big delays start at Damon. Ryan, 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Get out and have some fun. Visit ChicagoRadioDeals.com for a fun night on the town. Grab your Sweet Caroline and make a date to listen to your favorite music. Direct from their Midwest tour and is Denny Diamond and the Jewels, featuring the music of Neil Diamond. Normally $76 for lunch and a show for two. It's only $39 at CRD. Or head downtown for some laughs. $22 will get you a pair of tickets to Comedy Sports Chicago. Now, it's a unique blend of fast and funny improv comedy that is appropriate for all ages. You can take the kids and grandkids. It's a laugh out loud show that features two improv teams that play games on stage with a referee. You, the audience, is in on it for a laugh out loud good time. Or this is your chance to get away and escape to Wisconsin. Find certificates for the Schuster Mansion Bed and Breakfast in Milwaukee or the Door County White Lace Inn in Sturgeon Bay. So check in every week for fun and adventure with your friends and family, only at ChicagoRadioDeals.com. That's ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGDirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-400-8249. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-400-8249. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-400-8249. 1-800-400-8249.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had some ulcer issues on my leg that I had from Vietnam. It would erupt on occasion of periods of stress. When I was taking juices, these ulcers had disappeared, but I was not able to get good quality fruits and vegetables to make good juices. And, these ulcers came back. But since I've been taking the fruit and the veggie capsules, these ulcers again have subsided.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Hi, this is Shalom Klein of Get Down to Business, the show for small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship, powered by Tandem HR.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 1 out of every 5 adults over age 64 is still working. The number of Americans working past the traditional age of retirement has nearly doubled since the 1980s. While some attribute this statistic to healthier lifestyles and longevity, others simply cannot afford to retire. It's never too early to start planning for retirement. The best way to ensure financial security is to consult with a 401k or a financial advisor today. If you're a small or mid-sized business looking to offer an affordable retirement program to their employees, contact Tandem HR today. TandemHR.com. That's TandemHR.com.
For more tips, advice, and stories of entrepreneurial successes, listen to Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein. Heard Sunday afternoons at 6. Your Business Minute of the Day is powered by Tandem HR.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-400-8249. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-400-8249. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-400-8249. 1-800-400-8249.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Politics is war, explains Trump senior advisor Steve Bannon. We'll explain what he means at 7:37.
And a new app for Dan, Rent-A-Friend. We'll explain. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
29 degrees, clouds, and sunshine. Here are the stories we're following this morning. 27 are dead after a suicide bomber blew himself up inside a Shiite mosque in Kabul, Afghanistan today.
I'd say the same
French
thing.
French anti-terror police say they've broken up a terror attack plot with the arrest of 7 in Strasbourg and Marseille. Donald Trump scheduled to meet today with former Texas Governor Rick Perry. Meantime, incoming White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus says Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions is a fantastic choice to serve, in his mind, as Attorney General.
This is a man who has spent his entire life fighting for equality, freedom, and opportunity. It's an honor to have Senator Jeff Sessions accept such a post.
Speaking on ABC's This Week, meantime, the president-elect confirms he'll move to the White House, but his wife and 10-year-old son will stay behind and continue to live in New York for now. Investigations are ongoing after 4 police officers were shot yesterday in separate incidents across the country. In San Antonio, Detective Benjamin Marconi was shot to death, execution style, writing a traffic ticket. Police Chief William McManus says the detective lost his life in an act of cowardice.
His families will be celebrating the holidays. SAPD will be burying one of its own because of an ultimate act of cowardice by a suspect who will be caught and brought to justice.
A St. Louis police officer is expected to survive despite being shot twice in the face, and there were 2 other police shootings last night. It's not clear whether those incidents were also targeted attacks. Software maker Symantec this morning announcing it's buying LifeLock in a $2.3 billion internet security deal. Sabra recalling some hummus products over fears of listeria contamination. 4 children are dead after an early morning house fire in a small town in northern Indiana in the town of Flora. And 5 Chicago firefighters hospitalized after they reported ill after earlier working this morning to extinguish a fire. Giants beat the Bears, Bulls over the Lakers, and DePaul a winner over Wisconsin-Milwaukee. The news service of Firestone Complete Auto Care only on Black Friday until 10 a.m. Come into Firestone Complete Auto Care for their early bird special, a free tire installation package with a 4-tire purchase. Go to driveafirestone.com for more details. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I'd say the same thing to a billionaire that I would say to somebody making $30,000 a year.
The Joe Walsh Show.
The money you make, the money you earn, the money you invest, that's your money, damn it. And I think it's your duty, it's your right to do whatever you can do legally to limit what you give government, because we have a government that's too damn big.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're looking to relieve symptoms or support your well-being, head to Walgreens for brands you need like Advil, Robitussin, Emergency, and Nexium 24-Hour and take your health in your own hands. It's your wellness. Own it.
Black Friday is about more than waking up at 3 a.m. to get a deal. It's also a great time to get tires during the Ford Service Black Friday Tire Sales Event, where you can get a $140 rebate by mail on 4 select tires when you use the Ford Service credit card. And get our low-price tire guarantee. We'll beat any competitor's advertised price on the 13 name brands we carry. Subject to credit approval. Rebate by prepaid debit card. Other tire manufacturer rebate or offer cannot be combined with Ford Service credit card rebate or offer. See your participating Ford dealer for details through 12/31/16. Competitor's ad required for the tire guarantee.
Santa Claus only works 1 day a year, and us elves have to pick up the slack. So you know what? We've got a little early stocking stuffer for you. We're sneaking surprise points into your Shop Your Way account. You can redeem them on anything at Sears and Kmart. Gifts, decorations, even clothes. But hey, don't tell the boss, or he'll put us on reindeer duty. Dasher and Dancer aren't bad, but Prancer? Oh.
Surprise points are valid for 7 days. Amount of points awarded based on membership status and other factors. Ask to redeem your points at checkout. Exclusions apply. Go to shopyourway.com for details.
I know a perfect holiday gift. Did you guess it? Yep, it's MyPillow, and MyPillow will extend the money-back guarantee through March. Plus, if you buy 1 premium MyPillow, you still get the second one and 2 additional Go Anywhere MyPillows for free. So you're actually getting 2 premium and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows for the price of 1 with an extended money-back guarantee. It is the best offer ever. You know, the National Sleep Foundation made MyPillow their official pillow. It's washable to remove germs that cause allergies, acne, and asthma. And you'll sleep better. I know I do. So visit MyPillow.com, click the radio listener special tab, and use the promo code Amy. You'll get 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows for the price of 1, plus the extended money-back guarantee through March for your holiday gifts. Or call 800-489-0201. Mention the radio listener special and be sure to use the promo code Amy. That's MyPillow.com or 800-489-0201.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chuck Spaveri, CEO of Spaveri's Custom Counters, a Chicagoland manufacturer of residential and commercial countertops. If there's a local commercial bank who knows how to get a deal done, It's Signature Bank. When my brother and I needed it, Signature Bank came through with a creative financing solution. That's because Signature Bank has experience working with companies like ours, a second-generation, family-owned and operated manufacturer. Our business matters to Signature Bank, and that comes through in every visit and every phone call with their team, right up to the bank's co-founders, Kevin, Mick, and Brian. Spervery's is proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
7:38. Let's get an update on the roads in the AM 560 traffic center. Here's Jim.
Mike, the Edens is 31 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 24. Kennedy, 45 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 35. The Eisenhower is now 58 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 40. Stevenson, 50 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound an hour and 6 minutes. Really jammed Amon to Harlem after earlier crash. Ryan, 27 minutes. 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, stop and go 21 to Eau Plaine. Northbound delays are in pockets from 95th to 31st. Reagan told me to Grand Avenue went Dempster to Central after a crash. Traffic service of Staples. Staples has low prices on technology for your business. Right now, buy any PC at Staples and get free tech support for 30 days. They'll help you set up your new PC so you don't lose critical files and help you connect your network and your printer. Staples, make more happen. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Plenty of sunshine and a high of 41. Currently 26. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. What up, Dan and Amy? So, are you enjoying the continued mockery and lecturing from the elites that you voted against when you voted for Trump on November 8th? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA. Turnkey.pro text line. We've seen some op-eds we were just discussing at the top of the hour from luminaries like Toni Morrison about how everybody voted for Trump is wearing a cone-shaped hat and shooting black children. That's measured. So we're also this morning accepting apologies that we're going to aggregate and ship off to Toni Morrison and some of these other op-ed writers from you college-educated female white supremacists who voted for Donald Trump, and of obviously all white men, at least the 63% that voted for Trump. You white supremacists also will accept your apologies and pass them along to the appropriate authorities. Melania mocked at the American Music Awards last night.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mike Pence lectured at Hamilton on Friday night. This as he was preparing to leave after the show. Brandon Dixon, who plays Aaron Burr in the production, which I've seen at the Richard Rogers Theater, where Mike Pence was.
Yeah, and you sat in the same row that Mike Pence was sitting in.
I did, and I was also with Mike Pence's family when I chaperoned them the first time.
Were you booed and cheered?
It was mostly booing for me.
Okay.
But it's nice to see a smattering of cheers for Mike Pence in New York. This is what Brandon Dixon had to say to Mike Pence before he left the premises.
Vice President-elect Pence, we welcome you and we truly thank you for joining us here at Hamilton and American Music. We really do. We, sir, we are the diverse America who are alarmed and anxious that your new administration will not protect us, our planet, our children, our parents, or defend us and uphold our inalienable rights, sir. But we truly hope that this show has inspired you to uphold our American values and to work on behalf of all of us. All of us.
Yeah, you get the gist. By the way, this is a little history note. We were talking about the history of the KKK before, being a product of Southern Democrats. Hamilton, Federalist, proponent of the Alien and Sedition Acts, increased the time to become a naturalized citizen from 5 to 14 years. You could arrest persons in this country and detain them if they were under the Alien and Sedition Acts, if they were descendant of a country with which America had declared war or against which America had declared war. You could detain people just because if you're at war with the Germans, you could detain people because they were German in this country. These are some of the legislative measures advanced by Hamilton and the Federalists. So, I don't know how that comports with, for example, the enforcement of actual immigration law today and the Hamilton's cast perspective on that.
I don't think he dove into Hamilton's voting record or what he stood for back in the day.
Well, that's
when he accepted the role as Hamilton.
Well, that's sort of the production, but I guess this is the point. I said this previously. Brandon Dixon as Aaron Burr, he is a constitutional scholar in the same way that Daniel Day-Lewis freed the slaves. They're just actors.
Oh, but he's very proud of himself, and he's very proud that Mike Pence stayed. What actually happened was Mike Pence got up during his speech and listened to the rest of it while he was in the hallway.
It was important that we did this, and I'm so glad that we had the opportunity. And I'm so glad that he stayed, because he stayed and he listened, and I truly appreciate him doing that.
That's fine. And the whole thing, and I think this is being made a bigger deal than it really merits. I don't think we need to boycott Hamilton. Mike Pence was on with Chris Wallace on Sunday. He said, no apology necessary. I understand the message. And, oh, by the way, I still recommend Hamilton. And I saw Hamilton. I really enjoyed it. And I still recommend it as well.
But he was getting bullied. It was so inappropriate. That was not the place to do that. And we found out this morning that the producer and the cast members, once they knew that Pence was coming, they scripted this. They were ready to go, ready to deliver the punch. But they're just pushing their own agenda, and they're still just upset that their candidate didn't win.
Well, that's okay. You're allowed to push your own agenda. That's
but
what makes a free society.
They're paid actors. They're not supposed to do that. And people that were in the audience,
they're not supposed to do that.
No, they're paid actors. That's not part of the script, Dan. You don't go off script. When people come from all across the country to watch Hamilton, and I agree with people that were in the theater.
I don't think that anything the cast said was disrespectful.
We spent a lot of money to come and see Hamilton, and we really don't want to hear political statements.
Yeah, well, then don't come to the theater. If you don't want to come to it, if you don't want to hear it, that's going to happen from time to time. People go off script. You can endure it.
You go off script when someone's cell phone's going off. You're like, hey, turn your cell phone off or the ringer off. But I've never heard of this happening before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This happens. This happens all the time in the theater. You don't think there's what happened yesterday at the American Music Awards? The mocking of Melania or Green Day, criticizing Trump. It happens all the time. The point is this. I just would caution people who want to jump on this boycott Hamilton bandwagon or chastise people for what they say. Let them have their say. You want the left to speak. You don't want them to be silent. You want them to display what they actually think in full blossom. Believe me, because then we can address the sum and substance of what they think and what they're advocating. There is no need to silence them. There is no need to get up in arms. We could be them demanding trigger warnings in safe spaces. They could not be us, people who truly believe in peaceful pluralism. And so let's not be them. What about that concept?
I just think there's a time and place for everything, and that was not the place for it.
You can, well, of course.
Pence, but she should have gone up and given the whole cast safety pins.
and you can take the position that it's tacky. That's fine. You can disagree with what Mr. Dixon had to say. Fine. Don't take it so seriously. He's an actor. He doesn't know anything. He's very good at his craft of acting. Do you look to Brandon Dixon for how you understand the world? I don't think so. Do you look to Michael Shannon for how you understand the world? Michael Shannon, I just saw him over the weekend in Nocturnal Animals. He was great, just as he was in Boardwalk Empire. This is what he had to say about Trump. I don't want to live in a country where people voted for Trump. I want to live in some other effing country, but I don't want to run away, so we're just going to have to bust things up. There's a lot of old people who need to realize they've had a nice life, and it's time for them to move on. How about that? No offense to seniors out there. My mom's a senior.
No offense.
But if you're voting for Trump, it's time for the urn. This is actor Michael Shannon. Just because you're a good actor or a good athlete or a good businessman doesn't mean you are making sense in other spaces in this world. When you are out of your element, you can demonstrate that you're a buffoon in a particular sector with which you have no knowledge and have provided no thought. Michael Shannon is a good case study in that. So are some of the other people we're talking about. But to I don't know, come apart over it the way the left does about every little thing. That's not what we want to do. We're trying to upend that politically correct culture, not extend it by behaving the same way the left does. Let's go to Bob in Libertyville. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, just because this seems lost on you, I just want to let you know that the actor on the stage of Hamilton was not lecturing Mike Pence about the story of the real Hamilton. He was pointing out the diversity of the cast and trying to impress upon him that people from diverse backgrounds are fearful of an administration that has the unanimous support of white supremacists.
You're an idiot. Bye, Bob. And that's not what he was doing. He was lecturing Mike Pence. And, oh, by the way, he was representing the cast, the diversity of the cast, the same diversity of a cast that had a non-white-only casting call in violation of their own guild, the own Screen Actors Guild protocols. Bob in Libertyville, you nitwit. The unanimous support of white nationalists. Going to play that cheap guilt by association game. But Bob in Libertyville is who I want to continue talking. Continue talking. Continue mocking all the people who voted for Trump. Continue caricaturing them. Continue defending ignorance. Continue it. Please. Richard in Evanston.
I agree with you. It's kind of silly to, in a way, it's whining and similar to how look, we've been talking about how PC the country became, and then if we're going to get upset about this guy, he's an actor, and it is an enjoyable play. It's a great play. It's a wonderful biography on Hamilton, by the way, if you ever get 2 months to read the book. And then I think the coffee cup thing is ridiculous, too. I just think it makes we were fighting against PC. I mean, if we're going to get riled up about silly things like this, we should appreciate what's going on. We've got full control of the government, national government right now. It really is petty to get riled up about these. They're actors, and we go to get entertained, and who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
What he says after the point. And again, I think the coffee cup thing makes us look foolish, too, really, to get upset about coffee cups at Starbucks. Come on.
Thanks for the call, Richard. Well, I mean, this is the point. If you were going to judge actors or musicians based on their political beliefs, then you would never go to a concert or a show. I mean, virtually.
Well, the times that I've been to Broadway, I just go and watch the show, and then I leave. And there's no political commentary, no lecturing of an audience member.
Yes, I understand.
Oftentimes
it doesn't happen. Yeah. To the Starbucks thing is hashtag Trump cups. People going to Starbucks that Richard was referring to and ordering and saying their name is Trump, so the barista has to call out Trump.
Trump, your soy latte's ready.
It's fun, but I kind of agree with Richard. Not to mention, if you want to stick it to a conservative bigot like Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks, then you go to Dunkin' Donuts. You don't patronize Starbucks. Plus, they have better coffee, right?
Right.
Right, Carlos?
Sure.
Elston and
Addison.
That's the Dunkin' Donuts you want to go to.
Yes.
Ask for Carlos. Steve in Hinsdale.
About 150 years ago, we had another Republican who's well known in Illinois attend a theater to enjoy himself, and we had an idiot actor kind of come in and blow his head off, put a bullet in his brain. So I don't think this is just hyperbole. There's a message here, and it's a serious message. And I agree, Bob is an idiot. Thanks, have a great day.
Okay, thanks for the call, Steve. Will in Skokie.
Hey, good morning, guys. I think the interesting thing about Bob is, and so much of the left, is that they keep talking to our caricature, the caricature that was put up by the Democratic Party.
That's all they have.
Of who conservatives are. And also remember, actors spend their lives pretending to be someone else. It's not like they're well-grounded. It's not like they have real principles or anything. They try to be someone else all the time. I think that, they say they want us to understand them, how they feel, because, they feel betrayed and they feel scared of Trump and everything. Well, guess what? We have no choice but to know exactly how they feel because we're bombarded 24 hours a day by Hollywood, by TV, by the newspapers, with very few exceptions. So we know exactly where they're coming from. And I agree with you. We should just let them talk because they make themselves look foolish.
Thanks for the call, Will.
And now, a moment of objectivism with Yaron Brook and the Ayn Rand Institute.
Do any of the presidential candidates understand the nature and purpose of the government they wish to lead? It's clear in the Declaration of Independence, governments are created to protect rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Ayn Rand described rights as an indispensable foundation of a free society. A right, according to Rand, is a moral principle defining and sanctioning a man's freedom of action in a social context. Rights keep government connected to its proper purpose, which is to protect our freedom so we can produce, thrive, and be happy. What do they protect us from? Without the principle of rights to guide them, governments become indistinguishable from criminals. Rights transform a government of men into a government of laws, whose purpose is protection, not plunder. Do any of today's candidates understand this? From the Ayn Rand Institute, I'm Yaron Brook.
This has been a moment of objectivism from the Ayn Rand Institute. To learn more, listen to the Yaron Brook Show, Saturdays at 4 on AM 560, and visit ariradio.com.
If you enjoy Yaron Brook's Moments of Objectivism, consider making a gift to support content like this from the Ayn Rand Institute. ARI fosters a growing awareness, understanding, and acceptance of Ayn Rand's philosophy of objectivism to create a culture guided by the principles of reason, rational self-interest, individualism, and laissez-faire capitalism. To support this work, go to ariradio.com and click on the Donate button. Your tax-deductible gift will help to spread the message of Ayn Rand to the next generation.
The real estate market can be tricky to navigate. The only edge to help you get ahead is knowledge and experience. And Real Estate Revealed is that edge. Heard Sunday mornings at 8 and hosted by Randy Marcella. Real Estate Revealed uncovers truths about the real estate market with an entire team of experts. Their real estate power allows them to present their experiences to benefit you before your next transaction. Real Estate Revealed, Sunday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm 75 years old, and I don't eat enough vegetables or fruit. And this is a great thing to do. And it seems that I have more energy. It seems that I take that, and I take a lot of blood pressure pills and what do you call it, cholesterol. But my doctor tells me, he said, no, you might cut the dosage down on your pills because what are you taking? I said, Balance of Nature. He said he didn't know what it was, so I told him, I said it's fruits and vegetables condensed into little pill form. He goes, well, whatever it is, it's doing you a lot of good.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Sean Hannity believes Donald Trump will be successful if he does what he said.
He will be a successful president, enormously successful. If he remembers that this election is about the forgotten man, the people that have been left behind and screwed over by corruption in Washington, D.C., he will be a successful president.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Welcome to Move Time Radio, presented by the Arthritis Foundation. And we're smack dab in the middle of our dance-a-thon to fight arthritis pain. Me, I've been grooving for 10 hours straight, baby, but I'm a boogie machine. See, movement is just one of the ways to help fight osteoarthritis pain. Another is weight loss. You get rid of just 1 pound. That's 4 pounds of pressure off each knee. For more information on managing pain, visit fightarthritispain.org. Then meet me on the dance floor. This message brought to you by the Arthritis Foundation and the Ad Council.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-400-8249. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-400-8249. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-400-8249. 1-800-400-8249.
Hi, it's Steve Tucker with HealthInsuranceMentors.com. I want to congratulate President-elect Donald Trump and assure everyone that the nightmare of Obamacare will soon be over. Over the last 3 years, I've watched 17 health insurers disappear, and with them, healthy competition that ensures lower prices. I've listened to my friends and clients describe how they lost their health plans and their doctors while struggling to pay premiums that are 100% higher today than they were just a few years ago. We were promised better. We deserve better, and you're about to see better. It's morning in America again.
Rain, sleet, and snow are coming to threaten your visibility and turn your commute into a battle. But the Michelin Man is ready to protect you with Michelin Stealth Wiper Blades. Exclusive SmartFlex technology makes these blades flex to the curve of your windshield, giving you the best wipe possible and streak-free long-lasting performance for safer driving. Winter is coming, and when it arrives, be ready. Michelin Wiper Blades. It doesn't get any clearer than this. Available at Walmart, Pep Boys, Home Depot, and other fine retailers.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to John Allen, who's the editor of Crux, a magazine that specializes in the coverage of the Vatican and the Catholic Church, about the elevation of Blaise Cupich from Archbishop to Cardinal.
You sound so excited, Dad.
Over the weekend, and what that means for the church in Chicago and what that tells us about the church under Pope Francis. That's all at 8:08.
And when and should President-elect Donald Trump stop tweeting? He got into it again this weekend with the cast of Hamilton and then SNL's Alec Baldwin. But first, let's go into the newsroom and say good morning once again to the one and only Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, a strike could happen soon as this morning at O'Hare. We'll tell you who may walk off the job. 2 teens are charged in the murder of Congressman Danny Davis's grandson. 9-year-old Michigan girl drowns in an Alsip Hotel pool. And an alderman from Chicago recovering after a freak bicycle accident. Bears lose to the Giants. Plenty of sunshine in your forecast. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. They're still hunting a cop killer in Texas.
This type of senseless violence is unacceptable.
San Antonio Mayor Ivy Taylor, the morning after police detective Benjamin Marconi was murdered as he rode a traffic ticket in his patrol car. The gunman drove up behind him, got out, and shot him in the head twice. A St. Louis officer is in critical condition, shot twice in the face last night by someone who pulled up next to his car in traffic.
The police chief visited the hospital and said despite the seriousness of those injuries, the officer was conscious. He even was able to talk to the chief and tells him he remembers seeing the muzzle flash and the windows shattering. He felt them as those shots were fired at him.
Seth Lemon with Fox 2 TV outside the hospital. The suspected gunman was killed in a police shootout early this morning. An officer in Gladstone, Missouri, and another in Sanibel, Florida, were also shot and wounded last night at traffic stops. The suspects are in custody in each case. 2 law enforcement officers were heard responding to a house fire early this morning in Flora, Indiana. 4 children were killed. Their mother was injured. He ran against Donald Trump, calling the president-elect's campaign a mix of demagoguery, mean-spiritedness, and nonsense. Now Rick Perry might be a cabinet consideration. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
Today, President-elect Trump will meet with former Texas Governor Rick Perry, who could be a candidate for Secretary of Defense. Over the weekend, Mr. Trump met with Mitt Romney, the 2012 GOP presidential nominee who called Mr. Trump a phony and a fraud during the Republican primaries. But Trump transition senior advisor Kellyanne Conway said on Fox and Friends that their weekend meeting went very well.
Honestly, to me, it's great. It shows his great character and his skills as a leader, that he can set that aside to do the business of the people and form a government.
Mr. Trump is reportedly considering Romney for Secretary of State. Dave?
And John, there's a recall of Sabra hummus. Containers have best before dates January 23rd or earlier. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Sunshine and 25 degrees. It's 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 4 children are dead after an early morning house fire. It happened in a small town in northern Indiana, in the town of Flora, about 30 minutes east of West Lafayette. A woman was hurt as well, the mother of those 4 small children. Fire investigators also say a medical helicopter took 2 police officers to the hospital for treatment as well. 5 Chicago firefighters were hospitalized after they reported feeling ill after working a blaze early this morning. Firefighters had returned to engine 26 when they reported feeling ill and are listed in fair to serious condition at 3 separate hospitals. O'Hare workers who voted to strike soon will announce when they plan to take that action. SEIU Local 1 says they'll announce the date of their strike 10 a.m. this morning. About 500 workers are committed to a strike. They've been trying to organize with the union help. They mainly work for private contractors at the airport. A judge denies bail to 2 teens charged with first-degree murder in the shooting death of U.S. Representative Danny Davis's 15-year-old grandson. A 16-year-old boy and a 17-year-old girl appeared before a Cook County judge Sunday afternoon. Authorities say a 9-year-old suburban Detroit girl drowned in a hotel swimming pool while attending a cheerleading competition in the Chicago suburbs over the weekend. The girl was from Highland Park, Michigan. Police say authorities responded to the DoubleTree by Hilton Hotel in Alsip after reports of an unresponsive person in or near the pool. Bears fell to the Giants. Bulls winners over the Lakers. And on the ice tonight, the Blackhawks are at Edmonton. The news, a service of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Someone you know is suffering from Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. They're dealing with excruciating pain and days when they won't be able to get out of bed. Help someone you know and support the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America at ccfa.org. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Turnkey.pro. And from the Fox Business Network, here's Carol Zimmer.
From the Fox Business Network, Apple says it will provide a free battery replacement for customers who have experienced an unexpected shutdown with their iPhone 6s. Apple says it's not a safety issue. It only affects devices within a limited serial number range that were manufactured in September and October 2015. It seems like everybody wants to get into the self-driving car business. Nutonomy, the startup that beat Uber to public streets with robot taxis, will start trying out autonomous vehicles in Boston. They will test a Renault Zoe electric car with Nutonomy's self-driving software. And the latest in fashion trends, furry fashion trolls. Fendi makes them, so does Prada. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Carol Zimmer.
It's 8:05 in Chicago. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
You need to understand that the way you build wealth is you do not use the evening news or CNN or Fox to set the tone of your emotions around your investing.
The Dave Ramsey Show.
If you're thinking of changing your investing patterns because you're watching the news, you need to turn off the news. You are in charge of your destiny.
Dave Ramsey. Weeknights starting at 7. Presented by Wintrust Community Bank on AM 560. The Answer.
Hiring people is probably the worst part of my job.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. One click and my job was posted to 100+ job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 100+ job sites. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/expand. That's ZipRecruiter.com/expand.
I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Recently, mortgage rates have dropped to the second lowest level in history. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is all the way down to 3.5%, APR 3.57%. It's a great time to refinance with Quicken Loans and save hundreds every month. So lock in this ultra-low rate before it goes back up. Call 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
8:07. And a check of your morning ride to work. In our AM 560 traffic center, here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Traffic on the northbound tri-state is jammed from before 190 to Central Road, where a crash blocks 2 left lanes. Delays farther south are more routine from 95th most of the way to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Eastbound Adams Tollway delays are from Beverly to Higgins, Roselle to Meacham, and Bussey to Lee. Reagan Tollway a little tight, Naperville Road to Gackley. Veterans Memorial. Stop and go I-55 to the Reagan Tollway and Lake to 290. Edens is 31 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 27. Kennedy, 47 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 32. The Eisenhower, an hour and 13 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 45 minutes. Stevenson, 49 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 59. Orion is 35 minutes from 95th to downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
A full day of sunshine today, high 41. Clear early, then clouds increasing tonight with a low 25. Cloudy tomorrow with a brief shower or two in the afternoon, high 45. Occasional rain and drizzle tomorrow night with a low of 36. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 26 at O'Hare, 32 along the lakefront. It is 17 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by MyPainChicago.com. World-class treatment for chronic pain. Go to MyPainChicago.com.
Good morning. Welcome to your Monday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
We, sir, we are the diverse America who are alarmed and anxious that your new administration will not protect us, our planet.
I can tell you, I wasn't offended by what was said. I'll leave to others whether that was the appropriate venue to say it.
Very thorough and in-depth discussion in the time we had, and appreciate the chance to speak with the president-elect.
I don't know this Mike Flynn, but that Mike Flynn is a serious, intelligent guy.
Qualified to be National Security Advisor, the old Mike Flynn?
The old Mike Flynn, definitely. I just don't know the new Mike Flynn.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, of the 70 million Catholics who voted in the presidential election, they split for Donald Trump 52-45. That message lost on Pope Francis and Chicago Archbishop, now Cardinal Blaise Cupich. Cupich elevated this weekend. Pope Francis said Saturday that, quote, an epidemic of animosity, unquote, against people of other races or religions was hurting the weakest in society, striking a note of caution against the rise of populism and nationalism. An enemy because they come from a distant country or have different customs, an enemy because of the color of their skin, their language, or social class, an enemy because they think differently or even have a different faith, said Pope Francis. No, that's not it, Your Holiness. That's not it. It's only an enemy if you sexually assault women, like in Cologne, Germany. It's only an enemy if you come to the West to shoot up a nightclub or to blow up a facility, to kill civilians in the name of religion, to try and impose as a political governance system a religion. That's the issue, just so we're clear. But what does the elevation of Blaise Cupich signal about the direction of the Catholic Church? Kind of important, not just for Chicago, but in general. It's, in my opinion, it's rather sad that you have such an intellectual lightweight and Cupich follow such an intellectual heavyweight in Cardinal George. But let's get a more informed opinion than mine. He is John Allen. He is the editor of Crux, a outlet specializing in the coverage of the Vatican and the Catholic Church. John, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, sure, Dan. I'm even glad to be with you.
So, Pope Francis has now named 44 of the 120 cardinals allowed by the church. That's pretty significant. What does the elevation of Cupich, along with the other choices the Pope has made, signal about the direction of the Catholic Church?
Well, Well, in this consistory, which is the technical term for the event in which new cardinals are inducted into the club, there were 17 guys from around the world. I think the first blindingly obvious point is that the Pope is trying to internationalize and globalize the college. I mean, this time you had new cardinals from Mauritius, from Papua New Guinea, from Bangladesh, I mean, just every point of the compass. This is a Pope who is very passionate about what he calls the peripheries, that is, the kind of forgotten and overlooked corners of the world. So clearly, this is becoming a much more global body that and therefore, arguably, I suppose, better represents the experiences and the outlooks of the 1.2 billion Catholics all over the world. I mean, you cite this.
Well, just hold on 1 second there. So if he's so concerned about the margins and the peripheries, as you say, and as he said, then his choices from the U.S. were all white men in their 60s. He passed over Wilton Gregory, the African-American Archbishop of Atlanta. He passed over Gustavo Garcia Siller, the Mexican-born Archbishop of San Antonio. Why?
Well, and you could easily throw in there Jose Gomez, the Mexican-born Archbishop of Los Angeles, who a lot of people thought was the most obvious choice for a new cardinal in America. I don't know the answer to that, except that, and this was going to be my second point, it is also clear that Pope Francis is trying to shift the balance of power in the American Bishops' Conference. Bear in mind, he had consistories in 2014 and 2015. He didn't name any new Americans. So this is the first time he's named Americans. This time there are 3 of them. And all 3 of them, Blaise Cupich of Chicago, Joseph Tobin, formerly of Indianapolis, now of Newark, and Kevin Farrell from Dallas, who now has a new Vatican job. All 3 of these guys would be seen as sort of center-left progressives. And quite clearly, therefore, the Pope is trying to put that kind of person in positions of responsibility in the American church.
So central-left progressives, obviously, conservative Catholics, such as Dan Proft, don't like that about Cupich. What has he done in particular that upsets conservative Catholics?
Well, yes, as has many other things about this Pope. But, I suppose if you wanted to take a historical perspective on this, you would say that the Catholic Church was under center-left progressive management for about 20 years with John the 23rd and Paul VI. It was then under center-right, more conservative management for more than 30 years with John Paul II and Benedict XVI. So maybe it's the other side's turn. But, however you choose to look at that, I think it is a plain fact that the kind of people that this Pope is elevating in the American church are a break with what has been the more conservative leadership of the American Conference for quite some time.
And I mean, just sticking to Chicago here and now Cardinal Cupich, he's done some interesting things in his short time here, including eliminating the Respect Life office, which was seen as kind of a national model. Seems like Cupich in particular, and maybe he is taking cues from the Vatican, I don't know, wants to talk more about labor economics and climatology than he does about marriage and life and, the catechism.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, Blaise Cupich, who I've known for a long time, is unquestionably pro-life. Let's be clear on that. But you are right to notice a shift in emphasis. I think under Cardinal Francis George, who I also knew very well, in fact, I think I had the last interview with him before he died, Cardinal George was very much a man who would say that while all of the Church's social teaching is important, in the present social context in the United States, you have to give priority to the life issues, that is, the struggle against abortion, the struggle against euthanasia, the struggle against the contraception mandates imposed by the Obama administration, because those are the burning issues in this culture. I think Cardinal Cupich is much more reminiscent, to invoke another Chicago name, the late Cardinal Joseph Bernardin, who had this idea of a consistent ethic of life, so that while we're concerned with abortion, we are also concerned with war and peace, with poverty, with race relations, with the environment, and a number of other things, and that they all kind of deserve equal emphasis. emphasis. And listen, I mean, different Catholics will have different ideas about which one of those approaches is right, but I think descriptively it is a fact that whereas Cardinal George was much more the kind of cultural warrior figure, Cardinal Cupich is much more the consistent ethic of life, Bernardine-style kind of figure.
Do you think that the Catholic Church is leaning more central left to get more parishioners or try to attract more people to the Catholic Church?
You know, sometimes I wish the Catholic Church was that, savvy about things, thinking in terms of marketing strategy. I really don't think that's what's going on here. What I think is going on is that every pope, the Catholic Church is in some ways a very top-down system, and therefore whoever the Pope is matters. He sets a tone for absolutely everything else. And this is a Pope, the first Latin American Pope in history, the first Pope from the developing world, the first Jesuit Pope, and he's bringing that background with him to the office. And in American terms, that translates into a more kind of center-left, populist sort of agenda. And that's very natural to this Pope, and it's who he is. It's a bit of a shock to the system, it has to be said, in the American context, where over the last 30-plus years, we've become much more accustomed to our bishops in big-picture terms being fairly reliably conservative. And obviously, in the Pope Francis era, that's simply not the case anymore.
Yeah, and it seems to me that what we have increasingly is politicians masquerading as church elders. And with the church stands for nothing, it actually will repel parishioners, and it's repelling me right now and a lot of other conservative Catholics. I'll still attend Mass and believe in the tenets of the Catechism. But in terms of listening to Blaise Cupich lecture me about a $15 minimum wage, not exactly in his lane. And I got to say, too, the result is a deterioration of Catholic education as well, where you don't have the moral clarity on, for example, school choice and making that a preeminent issue if you want to wade into the public policy arena. And you have the adoption of Common Core and other kind of secularized big government ideas about K through 12 education. And so it seems to me you have terrible leadership at a lot of Catholic universities that seem particularly opposed to Catholicism these days, like Notre Dame with Jenkins and Hofschmidt at DePaul. I know he's outgoing. And now that's kind of weaning its way down to the K through 12 level as well. And I don't hold a particularly sanguine view of where this all ends.
Well, look, Dan, the plain fact of the matter is that a lot of liberal Catholics would have said pretty much exactly the same thing about the governance they perceived during the John Paul and Benedict XVI years. I think one of the issues here for a lot of Catholics in thinking about all of this is, where do you start? Do you start with your faith and then try to think your way through the political issues, or do you start with your political agenda and try to make the faith fit that?
The former.
That's a challenge for everybody all of the time. I think right now it may be in the States a little bit more of a challenge for more conservative Catholics because simply the winds in Rome are not blowing in their direction.
Yeah. All right. Very good. John Allen, editor of Crux, specializing in coverage of the Vatican and the Catholic Church. John, thanks for joining us. Very good discussion. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan and Amy.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.Pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Plenty of sunshine today, a high of 41 degrees. And then tomorrow things are going to change. We're going to have some considerable cloudiness, a brief shower or two in the afternoon, a high of 45. Let's get those travel times. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thank you, Amy and Dan. On the northbound tri-state, traffic is jammed. Irving Park to Central Road, where a crash has moved to the left shoulder. Farther south, it's slow 87th, 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Northbound Veterans Memorial, slow Boughton to the Reagan Tollway. The Army Trail toll to 290 southbound. The Army Trail toll to St. Charles. Eden's 23 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 27. The Kennedy 50 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. It's a little quicker than the Express, actually a lot quicker now. It's 38 minutes from Montrose, but 26 in the express lanes. Outbound, 34 minutes downtown to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 16 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound, 45 minutes. Stevenson, 50 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, 40. The Ryan is 35 minutes. 95th to downtown. Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Blaise Cupich has nice things to say about Father Pfleger. I'd like to enter that into evidence as Exhibit A for why not to look to Blaise Cupich for spiritual or political guidance. And you can get these kinds of comments.
And more.
At upstream-ideas.com. Interviews you've missed on this show, upstream-ideas.com. Long-form interviews you can't get on this show, time constraints, with the likes of Colonel Alan West and Sebastian Gorka and Michelle Malkin and KT McFarland. Entertaining man on the street interviews with our Follow the Logic segments, podcasts of Illinois Rising, the Sunday program we do with the Illinois Policy Institute, an hour of state-focused policy and politics. It's all at upstream-ideas.com. Go there, sign up, get the content.
Hello, everyone, and here we go again with Karen Lewis and the Chicago Teachers Union demanding more money from the Chicagoland taxpayers. Well, I say enough is enough. The teachers get paid from the property taxes that homeowners pay every year. If the teachers union gets more money, that means your property taxes are going to go higher. This is Tom Mirabali, your health insurance advocate and independent representative for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other health insurance carriers. For months now, I have been telling you about purchasing health savings account PPO plans that will cost you approximately 40% less in monthly premiums than you're currently paying now. Well, the same thing applies to the teachers union. I can show the union that they can purchase a more comprehensive health insurance plan that is in full compliance with the Affordable Care Act and will cost the taxpayers up to 40% less in monthly health insurance premiums. For more information, you can call me at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
Licensed in all states. Product availability varies. Agents may be compensated on enrollment.
This is Michael Medved. I'm here with Mike Stahl from Health Markets, helping folks find the right Medicare coverage. The news reports say that the rates might be going down.
The government projects the cost of Medicare plans will decrease this year. So you have to ask, are you getting the best rate? And Health Markets offers a free service to help folks maximize their Medicare benefits and save money.
The enrollment period for Medicare has already started. What is it people need to keep in mind?
Enrollment in the right plan is not automatic. With so many Medicare options, it can be confusing. My advice, don't go it alone. Get unbiased help to find a plan that may cost less and cover more with lower co-payments, more choices like dental and vision, and the freedom to choose your doctors. With the enrollment deadline only weeks away, it's important to act now. Our Health Markets Medicare service is free.
Thanks, Mike. This is Michael Medved for Health Markets.
For your free Medicare assistance, call 800-351-2054. That's 800-351-2054. 800-351-2054.
It's the busiest time of the year. So much to do. Plan this, schedule that, fit this in, drive here, drive there. And on top of it all, you're in charge of planning your company's holiday party. How are you going to get it all done? Well, there's one thing you can take care of quickly, easily, and deliciously. Call Belvedere Events and Banquets in Elk Grove Village and place your holiday catering order. You can pick up or have them delivered to your corporate office, home, or wherever. And if you need a place to have your party or event, Belvedere Events and Banquets can take care of that too. From 50 to 1,000 guests. To make your holiday event a great success, unique, special, and easy to plan, log on to BelvedereBanquets.com and take a peek at their amazing menu or call them at 847-534-0600. Belvedere Events and Banquets in Elk Grove Village. Book your catering by January 1st, 2017, and you'll get $25 off a $250 or more order. BelvedereBanquets.com or call 847-534-0600 and leave your holiday party planning to them.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, get a couple calls in here. We get some reaction to our discussion of the elevation of Blaise Cupich to Cardinal and some of what Pope Francis had to say over the weekend. Patrick on the Northwest side.
Yeah, here's a couple things that I find. First of all, I cringed at going, debating a cardinal or a pope, just my nature. But here's two things. In the Catholic Church, in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, it talks about patriotism and being a good thing. But right now, the dialogue is always about nationalism, like when they give you thoughts of Germany. No, it's not nationalism. It's patriotism, which is a good thing. And the other thing with respect, dropping the Respect for Life office, it's sort of akin to passing by the unborn who are in the concentration camps of the womb
okay, but looking out for the laborer who's working there. Hey, they should get a good wage. It makes no sense.
All right, thanks for the call, Patrick. I don't know if I used that quite analogy, but okay. Dan in Evanston.
Oh, am I on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I was recalling an article Tom Rosa wrote back in '93 in the Tribune, the pro-life peasant revolution, encouraging Catholics who actually believe in the Catholic faith, to stand up and take a walk out of parishes that really don't support, the Catholic faith. And I would love to see a public figure, a Catholic public figure, with some notoriety that's respected to stand up and maybe call for the same thing.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Dan. I mean, I wouldn't leave the church altogether, but in terms of leaving a particular parish for another, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. And but it's kind of like for me, like leaving the Republican Party. It's kind of a necessity, and so you work to change it from within. And I would suggest the same thing about conservative Catholics that are distressed about the direction of the church under Pope Francis and now Cardinal Cupich in Chicago, that you should work to change it from within, and you should stand up to your pastor and to your parish priests.
Like I do over at the Episcopalian Church.
Yes, like Amy does at that cult that she goes to at Lakeview. Take a cue from Amy Lee at Hammond, Indiana.
Yeah, hi, guys. I think you bring up an important topic. People need to be aware of this leftward swing of the Catholic hierarchy with this Jesuit Pope. If somebody goes up there and talks about open borders, globalism, and attacks the West and doesn't say anything about abortion or anything about these jihadists running around in the West, it's pretty obvious what he's up to. But people, I think a lot of them are unaware. They need to understand the background of this Pope.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a pretty checkered past when it comes to important socialist issues.
Well, thanks for the call, Lee. Well, I mean, this is the issue of them getting into spaces in which they demonstrate a lack of knowledge, like economics, like climatology. Let's remember, though, Pope Francis referred to marriage redefinition, anthropological regression. As our friend John Allen said, well, there's no question Blaise Cupich is pro-life. Make sure you press your priests all the way up to your archbishops and your cardinals, your bishops and archbishops and cardinals. Press them to speak the truth about what they know consistent with the faith on the life issue, on the marriage issue, when it comes to K through 12 education, when it comes to all of the matters for which they do have knowledge and they are operating from the basis of the one truth.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
You've always wanted to be your own boss and in complete control of your future. No more glass ceiling, no more being overlooked for that promotion you deserved. There's never been a better time to take that first step. Your first step begins at franchisebuyersguide.info. Put your talent, your skills, your drive, and your determination to work for you and only you. Franchise opportunities include brick and mortar, home-based, product-based, service-based, B2B, and B2C. Unleash the entrepreneur in you. Learn more at franchisebuyersguide.info. That's franchisebuyersguide.info.
As 2016 starts to wind down, it's time to take a good hard look at how your building and offices have been maintained. At Image One, we're aware that everyone has a cleaning service and many are happy, but you should have a backup plan. So when something happens, and it will happen, you're ready. Let Image One be your backup plan. Image One is Chicagoland's choice for custom office and building cleaning needs. Connect with Image One online at imageoneusa.com or call 800-223-1985.
AM 560. The Answer.
And coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to Congressman Peter Roskam about when we can expect some prosecutions over at IRS. I'm chomping at the bit at 8:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 31 degrees with clouds and mostly sunny skies crossing the area. That is our forecast for the remainder of this day. President-elect Donald Trump could name more cabinet members this week as his transition operation moves back to Trump Tower after a weekend in New Jersey. First up, meetings with former Texas Governor Rick Perry. Investigators are looking into 4 separate shootings of police officers yesterday, including one that claimed the life of a San Antonio, Texas police officer. Police say Detective Benjamin Marconi was shot to death execution style while writing a traffic ticket. 4 children are dead after an early morning fire in a small northern Indiana town. Firefighters say the children and a woman were caught in a blaze in the town of Florida, about 30 miles east of West Lafayette, Indiana. The woman was badly hurt, and 2 police officers were also helicoptered to local hospitals for treatment. 6 Chicago firefighters were hospitalized after they reported feeling ill after working to extinguish an early morning fire. The firefighters had actually returned to the Engine 26 firehouse and then were transported to 3 different hospitals in fair to serious condition. And O'Hare International Airport workers who voted to strike soon will announce when they plan to take action at 10 a.m. Around 500 workers committed to walking off the job. They mainly work for private contractors at the airport, cleaning cabins and bathrooms. There are also wheelchair attendants. About those 500 workers are not union members, but they are trying to organize with the help of SEIU. Giants beat the Bears on Sunday, and the Bears lose tight end Zach Miller with a broken right foot. NBA Jimmy Butler 40. And the Bulls win over the Lakers 118-110. The news service of Staples. Staples has low prices on technology for your business. And right now, buy any PC at Staples and get free tech support for 30 days. They will help you set up your new PC so you don't lose critical files and help you connect to your network and your printer. Staples, make more happen. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher explains why some people voted for Trump.
I don't want to gloat because it's not, I don't want to hurt people. You know, I'm taking a cue from Donald Trump. You know what he said about Bill and Hillary Clinton? He said, I don't want to hurt them, but she did some pretty bad things. The compassion that he has for people really did shine through. Trump haters don't want to admit that.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
This is Roger Michalski from Eagle Financial Publications. Are you a dividend investor? If so, let me tell you about a website that has just about every resource that a dividend investor could ask for. It's called dividendinvestor.com. We just launched a new and improved version of it, and there's nothing else like it. When you log on to dividendinvestor.com, you'll find screening tools, plus an all-star ranking system to help you find the best dividend opportunities. There's a scorecard to track the dividends in your very own portfolio, plus time-sensitive updates so you'll be the first to know when dividends go up or go down, and so many other features. Be my guest. Log on for free today at dividendinvestor.com. Set up a portfolio and see how easy it is to work the dividend calculator. And be sure to take the website tour to discover all the other great benefits. I'm convinced dividendinvestor.com will pay dividends to your bottom line. Go to dividendinvestor.com now. Dividendinvestor.com.
It's 8:35. Let's get an update on the roads in our AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the northbound tri-state, traffic is stop and go from 87th to 31st. From the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower, then it's jammed from the Grand Avenue curve up Central Road, where it crashes now on the left shoulder. It's about Adams Tollway, Heavy Roselle to Meacham. The Reagan Tollway is fine. Veterans Memorial. The bigger delays are northbound. Dalton Toll to the Reagan Tollway. The Army Trail Toll to 290. Southbound it is slow. Army Trail to St. Charles. Crash in the left lane. Eden's 23 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 27. Kennedy 50 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound 34. The Eisenhower an hour and 16 minutes. Thorndale to the post office a full hour from Manheim. Outbound it's 39 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson 49 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive outbound 40. Ryan 35 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 16. Lakeshore Drive, southbound slow Lawrence to North Avenue and 18th to the Stevenson, northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Plenty of sunshine today, high 41. Clouds on the increase overnight, low 25. And a brief shower tomorrow, low 45, or a high of 45. 27 at O'Hare, 25 along the lakefront, 30 at Midway. Your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Radio Garden Sense, a show bringing your property's gardening needs alive. Radio Garden Sense, Sunday mornings at 11 on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, don't be caught without the facts. Listen to me, Sean Hannity, this afternoon at 2, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, what is up? Well, Saturday Night Live actually stumbled into a fun skit or two on Saturday night. The Bubble City, where progressive leftists can live, was a good one. And, Amy, I'll let you have your final salvo with Alec Baldwin.
Thank you. Well, SNL Open, started with Alec Baldwin because he's back and he's going to be here for the, foreseeable future. And he depicted a panicked Trump realizing that he has to govern now, and first started with deportation.
The Democrats are already pushing back on our Illegal Immigration Act because they say finding 11 million illegal immigrants is going to be hard.
Impossible, probably.
And then they say it's going to be even harder to deport them.
So maybe let's not do it.
Don't do it?
Yeah. Scrap it.
Scrap it?
Scrapped.
And then he went on and did, Obamacare and, of course, the special prosecutor for Hillary Clinton.
Also, they're going to make it hard for us to hire a special prosecutor to put Hillary in jail.
Then don't do it.
Don't do it.
Scrap it. She didn't do anything. Scrapped.
You're not laughing at all.
It's because I have a sense of humor. Here's the thing. We'll see about that, because I expect the first 100 days of the Trump administration to be carpe diem, to be chock full of activity. I think they're going to move expeditiously on a range of topics that were discussed in the campaign. They may not take exactly the form that was described in these various policy sectors during the campaign, but I don't get the sense that there's going to be the effort to enlist Elizabeth Warren's support for what Republicans intend to do with respect to Obamacare, with respect to the war against radical Islamic terror, with respect to a range of issues, including prosecutions where they're appropriate, like, for example, IRS. And also, remember who is in the Oval Office, because this isn't a one-man job. The cabinet's taking shape. The policy circle in the Oval Office has taken shape with Priebus, Bannon, and Conway. And Steve Bannon, he much talked about senior advisor to Donald Trump, from Breitbart, gave an interesting interview to Kim Strauss over the weekend in the Wall Street Journal. And I wanted to take one thing he said, because it has relevance to the Illinois Republican Party and what it hasn't done. Kim Strauss writes of Bannon, his affinity for Reince Priebus, who he calls, quote unquote, a terrific partner, seems real. And Bannon says bluntly that the Trump victory would not have been possible without the RNC, though he adds with the rare chuckle that the RNC was a little anxious at times. Mr. Bannon brushes off concerns that there will be a White House power struggle between him and Mr. Priebus, given that Mr. Trump says the two men will be equal partners. It's interesting because Priebus is very close to Paul Ryan, and Bannon and Breitbart have been very critical of Paul Ryan. But here's the thing. They came together, divided the labor, both played their respective roles in the Trump presidential campaign, and they were successful. And that's the opposite model that's been followed by the Republican Party here, where the establishment has jettisoned conservatives. They've been resistant to partnerships, and that includes, frankly, to some extent, the Rauner administration, and it has been to their detriment. If you can have people that have differences of opinion on particular Republican policymakers, on particular policies, yet still recognize that the partnership is the key ingredient to success politically and by extension policy-wise, then you could be in a position to do something. And if you don't recognize that, then you can be Illinois, where you're in a position to mostly complain about Madigan and not much else. Just a little instruction out there for all the deep thinkers in the Republican Party in this state. Bannon and Priebus. You couldn't have two more different people coming together to play their respective roles in furtherance of the greater good, the overall mission. Maybe if we could get some adulthood in this state, we wouldn't be in the super minority in the Senate and a significant minority in the House, losing constitutional officers, losing congressmen, as we did this cycle, while the rest of the Rust Belt went Trump and enjoys conservative Republican governors and senators. Just a thought. And for more thoughts on these and other topics, we're pleased to be joined by our friend. He is Congressman Peter Roskam from Illinois 6th District. Peter, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, great to be with you guys. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, why don't we start with the IRS, since this has been a particular focus of yours over the last couple of years, waiting for an administration that may actually prosecute the clear wrongdoing that occurred at the IRS, waiting for an impeachment of the IRS commissioner and to revisit Lois Lerner, who has invoked the Fifth. So with Jeff Sessions as the presumptive attorney general, what is your level of optimism that we're going to see some justice imposed on IRS?
If you're Lois Lerner, your world fundamentally shifted on election night, because my calculation of the statute of limitations for Lois Lerner's crimes is that they are still open. In other words, into the early, into this year, the Department of Justice, if they choose, according to my calculation, would be able to move forward with the case against Lois Lerner. And remember, this was a case that the House laid out. The House made a specific criminal prosecution referral to the Department of Justice. It was completely rejected. This is where Barack Obama said, there was not a whiff of any criminal wrongdoing and so forth. And so I think Lois Lerner, in that case, in the evaluation of that case, is going to be front and center in a new Justice Department. They've got to look at the facts to see how they can do it, but I would recommend they look at it very, very closely.
And with Koskinen, I don't want him to just disappear into that good night. I want him to be impeached. What's his fate?
I hear you. I think that I think most people are going to be looking to the president-elect in terms of what his disposition is on Koskinen. The shelf life on John Koskinen is pretty short. But I take your point that in terms of the impunity and so forth, there's a larger principle to be laid out. The question is, how much does the president-elect, how much time does the administration want to use on Capitol Hill and the bandwidth and so forth and the stage? Do they want it to be Koskinen or do they want it to be their policies? My hunch is they would prefer it to be their policies.
Now, over the weekend, Donald Trump met with 20 possible cabinet members. He was, vetting certain people, and Mitt Romney was one of them for Secretary of State. Do you see that happening? Is that a possibility?
I think it's a possibility. Is it a probability? I don't think so. But listen, I'm reading the same stuff that you're reading. So I think Mitt Romney's got the disposition and the demeanor to be a terrific Secretary of State. That said, there's a lot of people that are probably much, much closer to Trump who have that same capacity, and that's such a premier position within an administration that I would be surprised if it were offered to Mitt Romney.
Yeah, but you don't understand, Peter. Amy is in love with Mitt Romney. She's not in love with those other people. So that's why.
Well, you just want to look at the man for the next
and I trust him, and
I
I've supported him, and I want him to be Secretary of State. I think that's be a perfect role. And his friends said over the weekend that he's interested in the job. So now it's just.
Well,
he said that.
He's got a clear world view. He understands America's role in the world. He understands how American might and diplomacy fit together, and how economic strength drives things. And he would command respect and attention around the world. So it'd be a great choice.
Getting back to Department of Justice and the appointment of U.S. attorneys, we spoke with former U.S. Attorney Fred Foreman earlier in the show. And, the state of affairs in Illinois with 2 Democrat U.S. senators. He recalled back when he was appointed that you had 2 Democrat senators in the early 90s, Paul Simon and Alan Dixon, that it kind of fell to the minority leader at the time, Bob Michel, in conjunction with the Republican delegation from the state of Illinois to make recommendations to a Republican president. Do you have any sense of, is it likely to follow that kind of line under a Trump administration where, for example, you would have a lot of influence in the selection of U.S. attorneys, for example, the one for the Northern District of Illinois?
Yeah, this is new territory for me, and I think it's new territory for a lot of people because in the past we've either had, we've had a Republican senator or, some other dynamic in place. So to the extent that the new administration is going to be looking for guidance from the Republican delegation, we'll work clearly and closely with them to give them good advice and good suggestions on people that they should consider.
With respect to how the selections that Trump has made so far, your colleague Mike Pompeo, Republican congressman from Kansas for CIA, and Lieutenant General Mike Flynn for NSA, and Jeff Sessions, and the rumors about either perhaps Jim Mattis or former Virginia Senator Jim Webb for Secretary of Defense. I mean, are you liking the names that have been leveled up as well as those that are being rumored about?
I am liking those names a lot, and here's why. I think they bring a seriousness and a demeanor and a disposition to understanding the nature of the Islamic threat, for example, around the world. I texted my kids when I got the news that Mike Pompeo was going to be named, as the nominee for director of the CIA, and I just said, you can rest easier. I mean, this is a guy, I know him. I served with him. I served with him on the Benghazi committee. He serves on the intelligence committee. He's a West Pointer. He knows what he's talking about. And his disposition and his worldview is going to be like, let's do a great job. Let's get the intelligence that they need in order to win this war. So I feel good about those names and the direction of them, and I think that it manifests itself then as a campaign promise that the president-elect is coming quick to deliver on.
All right, he is Congressman Peter Roskam from the 6th Congressional District in the western suburbs. Peter, thanks so much for joining us. As always, appreciate it.
Have a good Thanksgiving, guys.
Same to you. Thanks, Peter.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro Gobble Gobble answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I've got some breaking news on Mitt Romney, Amy.
What?
This is from a well-placed source of mine.
That he was in the taxi line at JFK Airport?
No, that the
true.
reason Trump invited Romney out to the golf course is because he needed a caddy.
Oh, that's, you know what?
mean.
It's just not even funny.
Sure.
I'm not entertaining that kind of alleged humor. Hey, today, plenty of sunshine, a high of 41 degrees. Tonight, clear. And then if the clouds roll in here tomorrow, we're going to have a brief shower or two in the afternoon, a high of 45. Let's get the latest on the roadways. And it seems like there's been some monster travel times today. Here's Jim Telemonte.
In some areas, yes, Amy. We had a big jam on the northbound tri-state with a crash at Central Road. Still there on the left shoulder. It's improved a lot, but it's still very slow from the Reagan Tollway to Grand Avenue and then from the Adams Tollway up to Central Road. Farther south, we still have milder delays from LaGrange Road to 31st. The Edens is light, though. 20 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 29. The Kennedy, 50 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Much quicker in the Express. Outbound 34 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower is jammed, with delays starting at North Avenue. An hour and 16 minutes Thorndale to the post office. An hour from Manheim. Outbound 39 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, 49 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 40. The Ryan's heavy at 35 minutes. 95th to downtown. Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Hey, I know it's hard sleeping on a flat pillow, flip-flopping during the night, or waking up feeling unrested. So I suggest you order a MyPillow today. MyPillow has a patented interlocking fill that adjusts to your individual sleep needs. It's washable, dryable, manufactured in the USA, and guaranteed not to go flat for 10 years. So if you're thinking about that tough person to buy for on your holiday list, right now is the best time to buy. For a limited time, when you buy one MyPillow, you'll receive another MyPillow absolutely free. Keep one for yourself. Give one as a gift. Plus, my fave, 2 free Go Anywhere pillows. Just keep one in your car. The money-back guarantee is extended through March 1st. So visit MyPillow.com. Click the radio listener special tab and use the promo code Amy. Again, you'll get 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows for the price of 1, plus that extended money-back guarantee through March 1st. Or call 800-489-0201. Mention my name, Amy, and you'll get the goodies. That's MyPillow.com or 800
Also get a MyPillow.
800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201.
Here's microbiologist Dr. Kim O'Neill talking about balance of nature.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. I don't take any supplementation, but I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true, and it's only natural.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code CHICAGO.
This is Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob.
His company put their trust in Air Comfort to keep their business running cool all summer. Bob knows the value of proper chiller maintenance that includes end-of-season service, so he'll be ready for next summer.
I'm ready.
Dave, on the other hand, thought he could put off servicing his chiller at the end of last season and had 3 complete shutdowns this summer. Needless to say, his staff and customers were not happy. Moral of the story? Preventative maintenance will save you time, money, and trouble. As the hot weather ends, you need maintenance on your chiller before the start of next season. Air Comfort has one of the largest commercial and industrial service groups in the Chicago area, with a dedicated factory-trained chiller department that takes a scientific approach to analyzing your system and determining any needed maintenance. They know how to work on large equipment, perform an analysis of your chiller, and get you ready for next season. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, a couple of great stories. One, a triumph of the human spirit. That one, Joe Thomas Sr., 55 years old, becomes the oldest Division I football player.
Wait a minute, what?
55. He appeared in a game as a running back for South Carolina State.
What?
He's the father of Green Bay Packers linebacker Joe Thomas Jr. He practiced with the team and his son, then stayed on the past 2 seasons with the hope he'd find a way into his game. He got his wish on senior day against Savannah State, where he carried the ball for 3 yards. 55 years old.
Wait a minute, he only carried it for 3 yards? He didn't even get the down, or...
He is projected to be the Bears' first-round draft pick next year. I mean, seriously, at least this guy's got heart.
Wait, how could I have not heard that story? I love sports stories, and that story's great. What was his number? What was his whole...
Joe Thomas Sr. He's number 12.
But number 1 in your hearts. Oh,
bingo.
Get it? That's why I said that.
Joe Thomas, this is great. Great story. South Carolina State. Check it out. Love good sports stories. And then this one, a triumph of hope over experience. How feminist snow plowing brought Stockholm to a standstill.
No, why? I thought we weren't going to do this.
No, I want to. I mean, it's Sweden, so I know this is important to you.
But it's about the feminist movement in Sweden, how they kind of stepped in it.
Yeah, imagine that. Stockholm developed a feminist strategy for clearing the roads of snow because there was complaints that the way the city was snow plowing favored men because they were clearing major roads in central areas where men are more likely to work.
Or they needed those roads to get to work.
Yeah. So instead, they sent the plows out to clear sidewalks and cycle paths on the basis that women walk and bike more often. They also focus on areas like kindergartens, which children and parents visit in the morning. And the result is complete gridlock in Stockholm.
Yeah, I saw the pictures, and then I saw there's a cartoon making fun of what they did.
A week later, buses struggling to run. Some 1,700 public transport passengers are planning to sue. And the disaster struck despite a $270,000 increase in this year's snow removal budget, meant to help the new feminist system of snow plowing, snow removal, succeed.
You know what? They got to suck it up. But my grandpa, when he was born and raised in Sweden, he cross-country skied a mile to school and a mile back. They didn't have snow plows. Men were men and girls were girls. They just got it done. They went to school, wore snowshoes, too. Yeah. They didn't need snow plows.
That is a bygone era in Stockholm, clearly.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you run a business, whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or construction, you know that commercial vans aren't one size fits all. Some vans are too small.
We're gonna have to make 2 trips.
Others too big.
Watch the top! Watch the top!
You need a van that's just right. That's where the Mercedes-Benz Metris comes in. It's the only available mid-size commercial van with unmatched safety features, a 2,500 2-pound payload, and enough cargo space to hold over 60 sheets of 4x8 drywall. It's big enough for the job, yet it's small enough to fit in your garage. It has a service interval of up to 15,000 miles and the highest residual value in its class, according to ALG. We won't give you a one-size-fits-all van. We'll do you one better, a commercial van that's sized just right for you. The 2016 midsize Metris. Mercedes-Benz. Vans born to run.
Are you behind in your mortgage, facing foreclosure, being given the runaround on a loan modification application by some bank or servicer? Well, you're not alone, but I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've put together a team to help distressed homeowners like you. Give us a call. We give everyone who's eligible a free consultation. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So